You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to Nerd Room. We talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. This is episode number 150. We'll be discussing Aquaman. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm happy that we're talking about Aquaman.
We are here. It is 2019. Happy New Year's to everyone out there listening. We hope you had a wonderful holiday season and a great New Year's. It is 2019, guys. It's a big year in Nerd. We've got Avengers 4, Star Wars. We've got a massive, massive slate looking down at us for Nerd in 2019. But before we get anywhere close to 2019, we got to take a step back into 2018 because we got a really big film to review here. And that is DC's next biggest tentpole in Aquaman, Arthur Curry. This is proving to be a huge step forward for the DC Extended Universe and their future slate of films. This is going to do big things for that universe, big things for this character, and we're going to break down every piece of this film. And like we always do with our reviews, guys, we're going to do a spoiler-free section here, and we'll be making sure to tag spoiler review once we get there. So if you haven't seen the film, you can kick around with us for the next probably 20 minutes or so. Then we're going to put that tag, and then we're going to spoil the hell out of this film. And this entire episode is going to be Aquaman. Sunjay is grinning ear to ear, excited to discuss.
You know, I don't want to say I called it, but I kind of feel like I called this one. Like, you guys were saying, like, you know, it'll, like, do all right in the theaters, and here I am, you know, like, I don't get a lot of chance to gloat as a DC fan here. I mean, we got the Marvel, MCU, we got the Star Wars universe, we got, you know, Spider-Man films. This is, like, the first time that I could just, like, roll up, you know? It's like when you roll up in the club in, like the flashy car. Like, you know, normally being, like, coming up in, like, the Pinto. But this time I'm coming up in, like, the Cadillac with, like, the fur coat on.
The doorman has you.
Oh, yeah.
Got you.
He calls me sir. Like, he doesn't even have to see my ID.
It makes me feel so good that your metaphors have not changed as we've leaped from 18 to 19 here.
You know, it's just like bridging the gap. You know, just call me the metaphor guy. Because, like, I painted that picture, and, you know, James Wan painted a picture of a man who just was half man, half Atlantean. And he was a man of no worlds.
A gross half-breed.
Oh, just a yucky male. Like, just not like the perfect specimen at all. Like,
no.
Like a Greek god, like chiseled out of like bronze marble.
Makes no sense. You know what? It makes no sense, and I think that's appropriate for this film because this film is a wild ass ride. It's an absolute ton of fun. So what I want to do at the top here, guys, let's get some perspective on how we saw it, where we saw it, and our first thoughts coming out of the theaters. Because we saw this together. We enjoyed it. We had our dude Carlos. He came by, met up with us. We had great conversation after. Yeah, big shout out. It was a great experience to not only watch it with you guys, watch it with Carlos, but then we skipped over it, had a beer, and discussed it as like a round table as well. And so it was a lot of fun to kind of get our initial thoughts out there. So let's dump some of those back onto the table, spoiler free. And I got to kick it over to Sunjay first. Sorry, Troy, man.
No, let him go.
We gotta let him go here. Gotta let him shed that praise.
All right, man. You know, I'm just walking into the club, taking off the coat, your coat check-in, hat check-in, because I got the fly hat on too. You know how I like roll up, always dressing to the nines, as I'm in my sweatpants and like pajama shirt.
Podcasting in comfort.
Yeah, man. Coming out of this film, oh man, super hyped. Like, Wonder Woman, I came out of that film super hyped. Batman v Superman came out of that film super hyped, and this thing just like keeps the train rolling for me. I was a little hesitant going in. You know, I saw, not that I should pay any attention to this and I should learn by now, but I saw like some of the reviews. A lot of people are kind of shitting on this film, and I was like, yeah, Like it just like kind of puts a damper on things. Like not that I should care about it. Like it still got like a decent like Rotten Tomatoes score, but I really shouldn't like care about it. The thing is, if I enjoy it, I'm starting to like learn that as I like grow as a human being, and like in 2019 maybe that'll be my like New Year's resolution. But I came out of this film and I was like, man, like James Wan nailed it. Like he was the right choice. Like this is the man that like reads the source material, knows the source material. It felt like I was reading Aquaman comic book, and that's kind of like the best compliment I can give it. Like I was like right there. I wasn't like a huge fan of Aquaman. I'm sure like not a lot of people were. The only thing people knew about Aquaman were Super Friends, Big Bang making fun of it, and then the Bare Naked Ladies song one week when they like mention Aquaman. That's kind of like his claim to fame.
Entourage show.
And Entourage, yeah, everyone.
Big opening on Entourage.
Yeah, the opening in Entourage beat this opening. So now, like, you know, I picked up an Aquaman comic book and just fell in love with the character, just fell in love with the world. It was like this, like, whole different world, you know? It was like a whole new world, and it was underwater, and it was just cool, and, like, the special effects had never been done before. I was beaming. If you can't tell, I really like this movie. You know, I'm trying to be a little bit coy about it, but no, it was amazing. It was a great experience, great film. I had the time of my life. I'm gonna throw out every cliche you can at the book at this one. You know, really like nailed it. It was. I'm trying to think of cliches, not like sports cliches, and none are coming to mind. But
it hit a home run.
Oh, it hit like a touchdown home run. like hit like a home run, and then someone like caught it and like spiked the ball in the end zone. Like that's what it was for me. And then they ended up scoring a goal too. So.
All of the sport metaphors in one.
Yeah.
Drama man.
Yeah,
What did you think of this film walking out of the theater?
It was a ride, man. It was a crazy ride. It was a roller coaster. Visually, I was blown away. Visually, this is the movie to see for sure. There are some little nitpicks I have with the visual effects. I'm definitely on the camp though, where I feel like it should get recognition for its visuals. That's pretty suspect at the fact that that's not up there with. I mean, like, what is it? There's Mary Poppins, First Man,
Black Panther, Welcome to Marwin.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of a crime.
Christopher Robin. I mean, like, not that like don't. So the Oscars has like a list of 20 films, and then it like cuts that down to 10, and then it cuts that down to how many. So Aquaman was in the initial 20, and then it didn't make the final 10. So right. the Academy Awards saying this wasn't one of the 10 best special effects films of the years. In my opinion, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you.
Yeah,
but it's a fun movie. I like the adventure aspect going in. That was cool. The jokes really didn't land that well with me. The music is there's some music, and Tim knows exactly what I'm talking about. That is fantastic. Like I love.
Yeah.
And then there's something else in there that's like a completely different movie. There's two villains in here. One of them I really, really like. Ocean Master, and we'll get into that. Yeah. And then Black Manta, who I was really hyped for.
Yeah.
That guy was acting in another movie. Like I don't know where he was, but it wasn't this film. Other than that, though, I think, you know, after digesting it, I do think I'll recommend it for people to go out there and see. This is a fun movie. It's definitely a lot different than every other DCEU film out there. Completely, even more so than Wonder Woman. And I don't know. I think it's worth to check out. Yeah,
I think definitely. I'm right there with you guys too. It's, if you excuse my voice, I'm battling a cold here, so I'm gonna like be squeaky.
You
up
sound
and down
sexy though.
Raspy, right?
Yeah, you sound kind of like a mix between a raspy Tim and normal Tim.
It's about right.
Yeah.
Apt description. No, it's a ton of fun. I think you nailed it on the head there, Troy. Coming out of this, I had a smile on. I enjoyed the film as a whole. There's parts in here, it's hit and miss for me in some points. But my biggest surprise in this was the supporting cast.
Yeah.
I walked in this expecting Jason Momoa to excel, and he does tenfold. This guy carries the film. He is charismatic. He walks onto the screen, and I want to see more. That's probably one of my biggest criticisms, is that I don't think we got enough of Aquaman in this film. It's don't get me wrong, the whole film's about him. His name is in the title, but I just wanted more of this guy on screen. Supporting cast, Mara, Amber Heard, she was awesome. The chemistry was there. That I wasn't expecting that at all. I expected a wooden performance out of her.
I think she actually outdid Momoa in my
opinion.
I thought she was great.
Fantastic. Tamara Morrison is great in this. Nicole Kidman is fantastic.
Another good one. Yeah.
I'd say my slight criticism in the spoiler free here is I felt like they stuffed too much into this film. I feel like James Wan and the collective at Warner Brothers and DC said, all right, we may only get one shot out of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Shove everything into the film. And that's where I wanted more Momoa, because I felt like they concentrated on building a massive Aquaman universe in 2.5 hours.
Right.
This felt like a movie that could have maybe been split into 2 or 3 with certain storylines and have something a bit more long running through. Because now we're looking at this with this idea, yes, this thing is over $700 million. Globally, it's going to get a sequel. I'm thinking in retrospect, okay, I would have liked some of this spread out a bit more. Maybe give us a trilogy of films. They stuffed a lot into here. And that's probably going to be my continuous biggest criticism of this, is that they worked really hard to get Aquaman's story out there, but it was almost too much for this one film.
Right.
I think, like, their thinking was, as you said, we may only get one shot. Like, going into this movie, it was such a huge risk to throw $200 million at an Aquaman film. Like, to break even, you need to make $600 million worldwide, let's say. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So,
to make money,
Yeah, to make money. So, I mean, going into this, 10 years ago, if you asked someone, we're going to throw $200 million at this Aquaman film, but it needs to make $600 million. People would be backing away, they'd be like, I don't know. And especially like given DC's spotty track record. So I feel like they're like, let's just, let's go for it. As you said, let's throw everything like of Aquaman that we can. It's like a love letter to the character who's been around for 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
So I do understand. Like I want to see what the sequel's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 99.99% sure we're going to get a sequel.
Oh, 100%.
If we don't get a sequel, whoever's in charge of WB needs to get fired immediately.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make any sense. But let's see where the sequel goes. And but yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, and we'll get into it definitely. And the last thing I'll hit here is the music, as you mentioned, Troy, was a huge miss, but the score in certain parts was unreal.
Yeah.
It sucked me right into this film.
Yeah.
And this is when they're doing the big landscape shots and all that.
Yeah.
We'll get in a bit more detail as we go into the spoiler review, because that's something that I would like people to experience in the film, because that was one of the best parts. There's some scenes in there, you sit back with the score and what they've done visually, it's like, wow, this is incredible. The CGI, I agree with you guys, it is really good. To me, it's at its best when we're doing landscape framing shots.
Right.
Yeah.
When there's a lot on the screen, I get a bit of Transformers. Like, it's a bit overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
And that detracts a little bit from it. And I'm not saying that that's why it shouldn't be considered. I agree, it should be considered.
Right.
To me, Black Panther, the CGI is spotty in parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the practical stuff is awesome there.
Yeah.
This, I think it has more, because there's so much CGI in it. Like, the whole film is CGI.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they spent $200 million on this film, because it's relatively, or even more so than relatively, it's really good CGI.
It is, I would say so,
Yeah.
especially for WB as of late, coming off of like Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Suicide Squad, they stepped their game up for sure.
Oh, for sure. And this is something that's never been done before. Like,
Exactly.
underwater, large, extensive sequences. Like, Star Wars had the Gungan City. Is
Yeah. But that was essentially...
that was like 25 years ago. And, like, it still looks like decent.
But it wasn't to the extent of this, right?
Oh,
Like,
for
this
sure.
movie, there's battle sequences. The 2 biggest battle sequences are underwater.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's taking a big step forward. And I'd like the sequel, and I will say there will be a sequel, is going to do another big step where they've kind of figured out probably what works and what doesn't, and we'll get into that. But there are elements of the CGI that they took a huge risk on, and I think it lands for the most part. Like, I never felt taken out of the film by the CGI, and to me, that's a big success. I was wowed by it more often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this thing, I think, for us, lived up to the hype that was promised to us. Yes, like you mentioned, the Rotten Tomatoes score currently sits at 64%. The audience score, though, is 81%.
Yeah.
And I think that generally feels about right. It feels like the critics were critical of it, but the audiences, like us, came out having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so that rating seems a bit right. It feels a bit low on the critic side to me. Like a high 60s, like early 70s feels maybe a bit closer, but who gives a shit about Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
It's our
like,
barometer, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys know off by hand what Venom's audience is seen at roughly?
Venom was like, what, 30% critics, I think?
Okay.
I had to looked at that not too, because we were looking at our year in review stuff earlier, and I was tracking some of that. Venom is 85% audience,
Really?
28% critic.
That blows my
Wow.
mind, because honestly, like pound for pound, I say Aquaman is far better.
Head
than
and
Venom.
shoulders
Oh,
above.
I
Far
would say
better.
so, yeah.
Far
And like, not
better.
to shit on Venom. I'm like the one of the 3 that like the Venom on
Yeah.
this table. But I
The
definitely the Venom, yeah.
Venom.
But yeah, I mean, let's talk about this film. I mean, we're talking about Venom. Venom killed it in China.
Yes, it did.
Aquaman, a big milestone today, just announced that Aquaman has surpassed Venom's Chinese box office total already
Wow.
to be the number 2 superhero film of all time in China,
Wow.
only behind Infinity War.
Yeah.
So is that like 270 or 275 million dollars US in China as of today?
Which is unbelievable. And that's adding to this big tally
Yeah.
of almost $750 million globally.
It's probably, by the time you listen to this and then wait a couple of days, so by the end of like this week, it'll be at 900 million.
Do you think it now, admittedly, Troy and I,
Yeah.
we said that this has no chance at getting I'll throw it. Like, I think we made a bet at some point there. So it looks like we may be losing that bet. Because this thing is now $751 million. It had a fairly good weekend domestically, but it's really big in the foreign markets. Like, the foreign markets attribute to 75% of the global haul here.
Yeah.
Like, the domestic audience, and I don't know where this split, like, this split is wild to me. Usually you're getting the 60-40. This is even heavily more weighted towards, especially the Chinese box office. That's the difference maker here for this globally. Because you look at the opening weekend for Aquaman, it landed $67 million here domestically. So that's Canada and the US.
Yeah.
And you look at the foreign market, like China, like, what was it? Like, it was...
It's like 90 million.
Yeah, 90 million.
Weekend.
So opened bigger in China than it did domestically.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you look at this weekend, it did $52 million. So that's only a drop off of 23%, which
incredible.
I think is the lowest drop off for a superhero film because they're usually so front loaded. You look at anything like Winter Soldier or Civil War, Infinity War, they're all like 40 to 60% drop offs because they had this huge push at the start and then a massive drop off. This held pretty strong, but this was a really weird weekend for hold-offs because Bumblebee only dropped 3.5%. And Mary Poppins actually went up 20%.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So this was a big weekend for all three of those films, but having this nice holdover is fantastic for Aquaman. Like 67, when you comparatively look at it to all other superhero films, we'll take the MCU, that's the same as Cap and Thor.
Yeah.
But Aquaman's already made more globally than those two films in their total domestic and international run. Ant-Man and the Wasp made 75, but it's only made $622 million globally. So Aquaman's already surpassed that. So the delivery here already for this film is unreal. And looking at it comparatively to the DC Extended Universe, it's already surpassed Justice League's worldwide haul, Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, and also it's pushing up on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So this is pretty substantial for this character when you look at it comparatively. Like, even the drops for these other DCU films are in the order of 70 to 40%. Even Wonder Woman dropped off about 40% in its second weekend.
That's
now,
pretty
it was
good.
quite a bit bigger opening at 110 million.
Yeah.
But this hold off, this is telling me right here that it's going to have legs. It's not going to run into anything until it gets the glass at the end of January.
Right.
Yeah, right.
For that same audience.
Yeah.
And if all three of these movies, Bumblebee, Mary Poppins, and Aquaman, are all nicely coexisting, which we kind of said, I don't think they're going to, or at least I did.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see. So what are you guys' thoughts on this box office run? Troy, does this movie have a chance to get to $1 billion?
What do we say it's at right now?
750.
750, but that doesn't include like China's added some stuff and domestically. So it's probably, as of this recording, is probably at just over 8.
Yeah, it might just. I mean, I don't know. This is a big surprise for me. This and Venom is, knocks me off my feet. So I really can't go against it at this point. So I mean, let it do what it's got to do. This is nuts. This is great for DC.
Oh yeah. We're living in like an age where Aquaman and Venom could make a combined $2 billion at the box office.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And you mentioned Mary Poppins, Bumblebee, but let's throw it into the Spider-Verse. Like that's a well critiqued. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Well received. We all loved it.
Yeah.
Comic book film, something different, animation, family film.
Yeah.
So they have 4 films, and they're all kind of battling out, and they're all kind of doing great. With Star Wars vacating this time zone, everyone just jumped in, and I don't know what Star Wars is going to do after Episode 9, but if they're not going to continue putting out films in December, if I'm DC, I'm taking the December slot now.
Yeah.
Aquaman 2, maybe 2021.
Yeah.
Throw it in December. I mean, even if it goes up against a Star Wars film, Jumanji 2 made $940 million worldwide.
Wow. Yeah.
So you can compete. Like the December legs, Santa Claus has them sexy legs.
Well, it's a sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
It's even sweeter than your late April, early May, which
yeah.
was originally the start of the summer box office. This December space holds some of the highest, or actually the 3 highest grossing films of all time.
Yeah.
Sit in this space. And we shouldn't be as shocked that this is having those nice legs, those nice, long, genetically modified legs. But I still find myself shocked. I'm impressed, and I'm happy that Aquaman's getting this, because it's already the 7th highest grossing film globally of the year. Oh. It just passed Deadpool 2. It's pushing up on Mission Impossible. It will likely pass Venom. And to get to that $1 billion mark, it's going to sit itself probably at the 5th highest grossing global film of 2018. And looking at it domestically, it's now sitting at the 12th, but it's going to pass Solo. It's going to pass Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's going to pass probably Mission Impossible Fallout here domestically. So it's going to be the top 10 highest grossing films domestically of 2018, which to me, that's not a huge surprise. To me, it's the global haul.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Like the domestic, yeah, sure. It's always was probably going to make over $200 million. Big comic book movie film.
Yeah, for sure.
But pushing up on $1 billion, like you go back 2 or 3 episodes, and I said not a chance this thing's making $1 billion. Even so much so that I made a bet. So I'm gonna have to wear something stupid to the next film.
Well, and it goes back to what we said. It's really outlived that stench of Justice League, because coming off the heels of Justice League, you're thinking any movie that comes out in this universe is gonna be sinking. Yeah. But they took their time. They waited. It left that bad taste of our mouth is gone. Yeah. And people were ready for this. The marketing was great. Jason Momoa has been just embracing this role. He's been the mascot of this whole thing that you couldn't help but cheer for the guy. So, was it Kevin Tsuchihara? Yeah. The guy head of DC, Warner Brothers there? He really, he did some magic here, because he stepped in after that other guy. There's the other guy.
No, Walter
Hamada is the new guy.
Walter Hamada's the new guy.
Walter Hamada's the new guy. Kevin Tsuchihara's gone.
Yeah.
Walter Hamada's the guy that came in here. So he's really just, led this whole flagship here. And hats off to him, man.
Well, this film was originally supposed to come out in October.
Right.
Remember? And then I think Star Wars vacated or something happened, and they pushed it back to December. And I was kind of like, man, we got to wait another 2 months. I want to see it right away. Mm-hmm. But it was absolutely the right move. There's no way this movie's making as much money as it is now if it was coming out in October.
Venom came out in October.
That's true, but then it would probably be butting heads against
and then
Venom.
what else was there? There's the Halloween movie, and there's another... Wasn't there another movie in there?
There's another big horror film in there. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Mary Poppins Returns and Bumblebee and Into the Spider-Verse are good competition as well. So it's hard to know, but I heard somewhere online saying that the time between about Christmas Eve and New Year's Day, every day is like a Saturday at the box office, because people are off work, kids are off school. So and the summertime, it's a little bit different. Families are in town. People want to go see movies. So I mean, it's the perfect time for a family film like Aquaman. If you had an R-rated film like Logan or something, I don't think that would do well. No. You definitely need those family films where you can bring grandma, you can bring, you can bring your mom, you can bring your wife.
If I take my mom to Aquaman, we'll see.
She might enjoy it for other reasons too.
Let's get to that sub scene. All right, guys, I think it's about time we stamp this with a spoiler and get into a bit more in-depth talk on Aquaman. So if you haven't seen the film, guys, this is your chance, your opportunity to hit pause and then come back after you've seen the film, because we're going to go into quite a bit of more detail. We're going to start with a bit of the timeline stuff, and we're going to get into talking about the director, and then actually go scene by scene, or more or less scene by scene, through this film. So this is your last and final warning. This is Aquaman spoiler tag landing now.
Aquaman dies.
All right, guys, let's get into this in a bit more depth. Let's talk about the DC extended universe.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, I get that.
Pun semi-intended, right? Let's talk about the timeline a little bit here before we dive into the...
Oh, another one. All right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Maybe I'm overusing it here.
You can never.
Stacking up this against the other DC extended universe films. So the 6 to date. We've got Wonder Woman, which technically is first, right?
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, and then Aquaman. Now, if I'm not mistaken, modern day, this takes place, what?
2 weeks, isn't it?
A year, I think?
I think it's a couple weeks
after.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 weeks after, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not too long after the events of Justice League that we do get this. But there's almost no reference to anything involved in the DC extended universe. Do you think that was a good idea to dislocate Aquaman almost entirely from what they've done before? There's no... Because I was expecting man, you thought this was crazy. I fought with a bat the other day. That was nuts.
That would have been cool. That would have been cool. I mean, they did drop the whole Steppenwolf.
Okay. I couldn't remember if that was in this or not. Because I was
Yeah.
watching Justice League the other day too. Just bits and pieces of it, the
Yeah.
Aquaman stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Like, you know, we talk about seeding characters in films. Marvel and DC have done this perfectly. You look at Black Panther and Spider-Man making their appearance in Civil War.
Yeah.
They spin off their own solo films. Boom. $2 billion for Black Panther, 900 million for Spider-Man, Wonder Woman from BVS, now Aquaman and Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see a lot more of this. He was the best part in Justice League for me. And, you know, he's the best part in this movie. I mean, it's the Aquaman movie, but I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more, but I understand why there wasn't the connectivity, because the universe was kind of shaky. The future of where it's going to go. Justice League bombed, lost quite a bit of money. And you look at Star Wars like Solo, they kind of canceled their films coming out of Solo. Whereas Justice League and WB didn't have that luxury because Aquaman was already shooting before Justice League even came out. So, you know, that shooting schedule kind of saved the franchise, if you will, because if Aquaman hadn't been shooting yet, there's no way they would have got into production to throw $200 million at a movie of a spin-off of a movie that failed.
Right.
You know, failed at the box office. So, you know, I understand it. Maybe there was more and they took it out. I don't know. But I think this will kind of give them the confidence, and we'll see more and more connectivity. Like, you look at the MCU where like people just jump in and out. Like Iron Man will be in like Spider-Man, or like Cap will be in a Thor film for like a scene where they'll reference the events in New York. I think we'll see that going forward a lot more. But I think this was kind of their like pivot point where they're like, okay, this movie fails the DCEU, we probably shouldn't continue it, you know, but this one will kind of stand on its own. But now that it's like a huge success, I think they're like, yeah, this universe can work.
Yeah. No, I think it's genius here that they left out a lot of the Justice League stuff. With, you know, we've been saying it for a while, like, why not like go the Marvel blueprint where you build up your B-listers, your C-listers, and have them, you know, do their own things, and have the actual audience, you know, embrace these characters, so one day you can put them all together with your big three, like Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and then everyone's cheering for these guys. And I think they did that in this film. I think there's a lot of interest now in Aquaman. The light's been shined on this guy, much like an Iron Man in a sense, that now people they don't even care about Justice League. They're going to go out there and they're going to see Aquaman 2 or Aquaman 3, you know, providing that Aquaman 2 is good. And then you can give us, you know, maybe you can do a Flash now. You can prove that these other characters can stand on their own 2 feet before you put them all together. So I think it worked. Whether they meant to do that or not, I don't know. But I'm liking what they did here for sure in that sense.
You know, you mentioned like kind of the Marvel blueprint, and I think part of the reason why Avengers worked is because you had all these different characters in all these different movies. Like a Cap film, Cap First Avenger, was so much different than a Thor film, was so much different than Iron Man 1 and 2, and then Incredible Hulk. That like it was kind of like this like intriguing thing of like how is this gonna work? Like, how are these characters gonna interact? How are they gonna talk to each other? How are they gonna battle each other? You know, I get to see like their team up combos and, you know, their fighting skills and stuff like that. And with Justice League, I think if it was a really good film, you know, it would have worked, but because it was kind of just like, okay, and there wasn't that like build up into it, that I think that it hurt it. But I think like now with, okay, you got Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and, you know, if we get like a Flash movie, you'll kind of get like those, and like you have Batman v Superman, so you kind of have those like different films, you know, they feel very different from each other, that if they do attempt a Justice League 2, which I hope they do in the future, and I think they will, that I think it will be a lot more successful now, that because they have 2 pillars, Wonder Woman and Aquaman, that have made $2 billion at the box office.
Well, the key to that is that people are now invested in Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Right? Where you threw them into, or they were thrown into Justice League. This isn't about throwing shade at Justice League or anything, but this is just relevance to the point, is that we weren't invested with Aquaman. Like, we were invested in Jason Momoa. Not on Aquaman. We weren't invested in the Flash or Wonder Woman to any real extent, because she didn't have much to do in Batman vs Superman. You know, all we knew in that film was Batman and Superman. Yeah. And the last film they were in, not a lot of us liked. So that was where the weight of Batman vs Superman pulled down the Justice League. And then you're trying to figure out who all these other guys are. Yeah. With a bit of exposition. Now you change that and do Justice League 2 in 3, 4, 5 years down the road. We're all invested in these characters now.
Yeah.
that becomes an event style film. So that goes a bit to that Marvel blueprint that was laid out before. It's like, get people invested and excited about these characters and then jam them together. So that's where the event, that's a comic book, right?
For sure.
Is so to me, they've established what they need to do now. The DC Extended Universe, I don't want to say it as a cliche, but to me, with Wonder Woman and Aquaman, it is now on a solid foundation. We said that going into this. Aquaman had to establish that, not only for itself, but for the DC Extended Universe. And I think limited references helped it. It didn't bog it down with, oh, what about Wonder Woman? Or what about seeding Batman or Superman or something like that? It didn't take any time for in the running time of the film to say, what about the Justice League? What about the world outside of Aquaman?
Right.
They just said, no, we're going to go straight for an Aquaman origin film and do it. And it's a kind of a proper origin film too.
Yeah.
Because it really starts off with, here's a kid, here's how he gets powers, here's how he trains, and then so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So that we haven't seen that really since we saw it with Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
So they've gone back to the drawing board and said, we're not going to do, they did plant them in Justice League, so we know who they were. But to me, that's just a cast, right? We have Aquaman, we have kind of a rough framework of what this character is going to be.
Right.
But they went back to the beginning and said, nope, origin story.
Yeah.
They didn't just jump in the same way they did with Black Panther and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where they just kind of said, we'll kind of get there, but you get the gist of it. This is, let's reestablish all this, get you invested in this character, and then go from there. So I think it was great how they set everything up. And point forward, Shazam, Aquaman 2, inevitably, Wonder Woman 2, everything looks to be on solid footing. And a lot of that, I think, can go to the director, James Wan.
Yeah.
So he's not a guy that you would pluck out of a crowd and say, this should probably be the guy that directs Aquaman 2. You look at his filmography, everything from Insidious, The Conjuring, he did Saw.
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious.
Fast 7?
Yeah.
Fast 7, the best one. The most successful one.
Yeah, so this guy, he with Fast 7, he proved that he could do big, especially big international film. He had the ability to take a big budget, a working cast, a large working cast, and make a film out of it. But his expertise lies more in the horror end of things,
Absolutely.
which I didn't see a lot of here. You get a little bit when you're in the trench and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, this was a spectacle, an event film. And I think this guy was the right guy. He was out of left field, which I like. Well, seemingly out of left field, probably not so much so. But he's done a lot of films. He to me at least, he proved that he can play with the big boys now in the superhero arena. Do you guys agree? Was James Wan the right choice for this?
Well, yeah, like WB, they came to him because he's been doing some work with their New Line Cinema. So he did the whole Conjuring universe. It's kind of his brainchild, and that's been super successful. You've got Conjuring, you've got The Nun, you've got the Annabelle films. Like, that's been a super successful franchise for WB. So they came to James Wan. They're like, hey, we have 2 films that we need a director for, Flash and Aquaman. Which one do you want to direct? And he's like, well, Flash has already had a TV show, 2 actually, one in the 90s and one right now. Aquaman's never been on screen before. I want to be the first guy to bring Aquaman to the screen. And I love that mentality. Like, he kind of put his stamp on it. He gave the most iconic portrayal of Aquaman. Like, now when you ask people on the street who's Aquaman, they're going to point to a picture of Jason Momoa. They're not going to point to a picture of what Aquaman looks like in the comic books anymore. Like, this is the iconic Aquaman now because, well, I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's one of the biggest movies of all time, which is crazy. And I think James Wan absolutely was the right director for it. I mean, this film's killing it at the box office, and it seems to have kind of bridged the gap. Like, I think a lot of fans from, like, DC films before that, like, all different walks of DC fans really are enjoying this film.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of people, not just like DC fans, but like fans of the Marvel Universe, fans in general, are just really enjoying this film. So, yeah, I think he's absolutely the right choice, and I really want to see him back for the sequel. I know he kind of stopped, like, he didn't do the Fast and the Furious 8, because he did 7, but he didn't do 8. Maybe, I really want WB to open the bank and say, okay, James, here's a blank check. Come back for the sequel.
Well, the thing with 7 and going into 8 and all that, they're like a film a year.
Yeah.
So, right, that's your commitment is back to back to back, right? So
Yeah.
you have no time to do anything else if you're doing Fast and Furious stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, he pulled a hat trick with 7 because 7
Yeah.
was, with the events of Paul
Yeah.
Walker, so he had to
Right.
do a lot of
Yeah.
kind of work with that. So he must have been, exhausted. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be opposite here. I feel, was he the right choice? Well, did he work? Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I feel there's a handful of directors you could have pulled, whether it was James Gunn Vaughn. I think Matthew Vaughn. Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew Vaughn. I think would have nailed this. I mean, the budget was $200 million, right? That's a lot of money as is. You give that budget to a lot of these high-end directors, I think they could have pulled some magic too. Not to take away from what he's done though, because visually, like I mentioned, it's blows my mind.
Yeah.
But on the side note, there's a lot of issues I had with some of his directing choices in this film. Did he write this film too?
No. I think he has a story credit. I think he kind of like guided the story, but he didn't write it.
Okay, so I won't go there. But I do like what he did for sure. I'm not gonna mess all over it, but I do think there's a handful of other directors that could have really just nailed this out of the park. But I mean, the movie's making bank, right?
Right.
Yeah, and like when you look at the filmography, my biggest concern was that DC was trying to step away from dark things.
Yeah.
Right.
And you look at this guy, his whole filmography is pretty dark shit.
Dark
Right,
stuff. But
yeah.
the fast stuff is great.
But that's the anomaly. Fast and Aquaman are the anomalies in his filmography.
Right.
Like everything else here has Death, Dead, Insidious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty dark stuff. But
sure.
so for me, for him to take something and deliver this vibrant Aquaman, I think to me, he was successful in bringing Aquaman to the screen.
Yeah.
Doing it in big scale and doing it in a way that was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Sure, you give it to Gunn or someone like that. Maybe a lot of people are gonna like us referencing Gunn here, but it's I think sure, you can do something. It's always that big question mark. Like, what if Matthew Vaughn did this?
For
or
sure.
What if? Yeah. But to me, sure, he did two things right for me. He delivered it, as well as he kind of championed it. He shepherded it.
Yeah.
He took this and said, "This is the film." Like you're saying tonight, I want to do this. Him and Momoa were the biggest champions for this character, bringing this to screen. I think that's great, and I think that's what you need in a director. And for me,
sure.
he delivered that definitely.
For sure.
Oh yeah, and sometimes great directors can deliver bombs. Like I know with Green Lantern, the same guy who did Green Lantern also did Casino Royale, which is like my favorite Bond film.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and that film just was a miss for me. So for him to make that switch, going and looking at his IMDb, it's not always the best fit, but maybe sometimes that's what you need. You need to step out of your day-to-day routine, do something different.
Well, the Russo brothers, right?
Yeah, well, that's Marvel's like their whole slate of directors are all that, right?
Yeah.
You take like every director in there within the last since Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's been someone that's had a big question, like why did you cast the Russos to do this?
Right.
They've directed Community.
Yeah.
Now they've delivered like 4 of the best MCU films ever.
Or even Christopher Nolan. Like why would you pick this guy to do a superhero film? And look what he did with that genre.
Right. I mean, everyone always says like, why don't you just bring back Christopher Nolan for like the DC, as if it's that easy. Like I'm sure he wants to do other stuff. He's already given us 3 great Batman films, so I would love him to come back, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think putting a different spin, and that is needed in the director. That's where it essentially comes from, right? You need someone to go out there and say, all right, I'm doing my thing. I'm putting my own twist on this. It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But it similarly works here because as we get into the film, this thing opens, like I said, like a true origin story. We get the parents of Aquaman, and we get Tamora Morrison, Django Fett, the clones. He is Thomas Curry. Now, they did attempt, I don't like to start something negative, they did attempt to do a bit of de-aging. To me, he looked like Wayne Newton.
Yeah.
It didn't look as good as it does in other films. But him and Nicole Kidman here, they have this proper origin. He finds her. They fall in love in this lighthouse. I really, like the first 20, 30 minutes of this film, and this in particular, I really felt myself connecting to this. Like, I like Tamora Morrison and Nicole Kidman as, how do you say her name? Atlanta, yeah. Yeah, Atlanta. Badass.
Absolutely. That fight scene?
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Like, edge of my seat.
Yeah. Oh, that was dope. I've never been a big Nicole Kidman fan. And this
Whoa.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I've never been.
I'm not there. I'm not there.
No, I've never been.
One of the greatest actresses
with her first
of all
DC
time.
film, her first one, Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling
Chase
it.
Meridian.
Yeah,
She had a thing for man in latex.
Never found her compelling at all.
No, me neither.
But this movie here, I was
Okay,
like,
I'm out. Okay, you can make fun of DC, you can make fun of everything, but you step on Nicole Kidman like that.
You really, eh? Yeah.
Oh, one of the greatest actresses of all time.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh my goodness.
She was good in this film.
This is like an awesome.
All right,
role
we'll
for
just
her.
concentrate on this. I mean, we're gonna have Nicole Kidman retrospective career episode later on, so we'll just focus on Aquaman.
Promises from Sunjay.
But yeah, no, she was great, man. You mentioned that fight scene.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I really believed the relationship between her and Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Was great. The plastic man,
You know
he
what?
looked really
Yeah.
rubbery.
Yeah, he did. Very,
with that
very,
makeup.
very
Yeah.
classic. But to me, like that's the thing I liked about it. When you look at it on the surface, like this shouldn't work.
Right.
He literally picked up a queen of the ocean
Yeah.
and dragged her up to his lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the end of the first 5 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I buy this
Yeah,
relationship.
for sure. Yeah.
They are in love.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
Because
It was
you
great.
needed that, right? Because you can't have like, this awkward like Wayne Newton-ish Tamara Morrison with Nicole Kidman, right?
Yeah.
And I liked when we're introduced to this character because this is the first Atlantean we're really introduced to.
Yeah.
She doesn't have some weird kind of
Yeah.
language. She's just silent. You know, like
Yeah.
Little Mermaid coming up on the land
Oh
for the first
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
She had no dialogue really. The acting was all through the face,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then Django, I'm gonna say Django. I'm never gonna say his real name. Leads her the way and introduces her to the style of Earthlings. And I really love that relationship. And I catched it. And I like the fact that she almost had the whole eat the dog thing. For some reason, that worked for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but if you go back to Venom hopping into the crab.
Oh yeah.
The crab basket, like
Yeah.
that didn't work for me, and it's kind of similar humor, but I don't know. It worked for me with Nicole Kidman. Maybe, yeah,
Eating the fish.
eating the fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And the music, we got that music, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I loved it. Can you give it to me one more time? The artist or the genre?
Oh
What
yeah,
was it?
sorry. That was so there's a band here called
Yeah.
Sigaros. It's
Right.
I think it's a Swedish band.
Right.
And you get this underlying. It's very high pitched. It's not in English and all that. It's beautiful,
Oh,
beautiful
man.
music. It's very cinematic music.
Yeah.
And that's what what underlies a lot of this stuff here with Django and Nicole Kidman's
Yeah.
character here. And to me, that again, that's where the score is really successful. I guess that's
Yeah.
maybe a bit more of a soundtrack.
Yeah.
But just beautiful music.
Well, that set the tone because here I am thinking like, oh man, we're for a treat. Like this act right now, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
This might be like up there with Infinity War at this point. Like I
Yeah.
really love the opening and
Yeah.
the music, the acting, the relationship, visuals look great. Everything's on point. We'll keep it rolling.
Yeah.
See where
Well,
we
it's
go.
that battle to me puts me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way it's filmed, how dynamic it is.
Yeah.
It's all continuous filming or whatever
Oh,
they've done
yeah.
because they're scooting
This is the continuous shot kind of effect.
and it's
right?
like in a circle too.
yeah.
Beautifully
that's
done.
great.
Oh,
I'm thinking like holy shit,
Yeah,
like
that's
this
great.
is awesome.
But honestly, again, like that's very Matthew Vaughn. Like I know
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
James Wan, but like I swear I've seen Matthew Vaughn do those kinds of shots. But anyways, I
kind
love
of like
that fight scene.
the first. What's the one?
Kick-Ass?
Kingsman.
Kingsman, yeah,
The
right?
first Kingsman, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the continuous shot fight, like
Yes.
some of the camera angles, like we'll get to the Sicily fight later, but like the camera angles, and you go watch a film that's poorly done, like Catwoman, the cut scenes. There's more cuts in there. There's like more cuts than like, I don't know,
Michelle
someone.
Pfeiffer's costume,
Yeah,
the original Catwoman.
good one. Yeah. So like it's like boom, 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 and you're like you get dizzy. This one, the continuous, the fights in this were incredible.
Well, and that goes back to the editing, right?
Yeah.
And the cinematography and editing here are, to me, really well
Yeah.
done. Like,
Yeah.
not comparatively, I don't like going down this route. I'm sorry, guys, but Batman vs Superman is poorly edited.
Yes.
There's a lot of cutting,
Yeah.
a lot of bashing around.
The
The ultimate cut's
theatrical
better.
cut.
It's
the
better.
ultimate
The
cut is
ultimate
better.
cut, okay.
Yes, I'll give you that. Theatrical cut, you're banging all over the place.
Yeah.
This allows you to connect to characters and connect to scenes.
Yeah.
This isn't about. It doesn't go from this to Volco to Atlantis to here
No.
here. It allows you enough time. Like we only spend realistically. With Nicole Kidman's Adelan here, you only spend like 5 minutes with her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but when she comes back later,
Yeah.
you're like, yes, I'm connected to this character already. If she had just if you never felt that connection to this character at the start, her return later on doesn't have the same impact.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, this is where you get everything from, because later on, I'm like, yes, she's back. I wasn't expecting that. This is great. And then even with Tamara Morrison, to me, that's the grounding character. His interaction with Arthur when they're sitting at the bar,
Yeah.
Love it.
and they're kind of that grounding figure for Arthur, that earth-bound figure,
Yeah.
is great. And then Nicole Kidman gives him something to chase, something to be the reason he doesn't like Atlantis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, is his mother. So right there, right at this first 10 minutes, you get this great chemistry and you understand Arthur's motivations right away.
Right.
Why he has so much resentment for Atlantis and why he feels so attached to Earth because of his father.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff at the start here.
So can I pause you there for 1 second? And you guys can help me out here. I think we discussed this before a little bit, but now that I'm on the podcast, we can bring more light to it.
Yeah.
You mentioned Arthur despised Atlantis because of his mother.
Yes.
Right. But then we go to Justice League.
was gonna ask
When you
the
guys
same
pointed
question.
that out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact when we go back to Justice League, he hates his mother. He doesn't like his mother.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on there with that retcon?
I think it's just maybe they made the film and then it just didn't fit, and they're like Justice League didn't really, it's kind of a throwaway line, and like him, embracing his mother and battling for his mother's love is kind of like the underlining theme of this film. So I think they're just kind of like, it's a throwaway line in Justice League. Like maybe you could kind of get away from it because he's like, he's like, oh, my mother like left me on the throne, and then Mira's like, in Justice League, Mira's like, you dare speak of Queen Atlanta that way? Like, she raised me when my parents were all fighting in like some war, and then he's like, oh, she just left me on the doorstep. So I don't know, like maybe it's just a retcon. I think like I can't try to explain it. If I think about it long enough, maybe I could come up with like some convoluted answer that'll make sense in the headcanon way.
Yeah,
but maybe I don't know.
It's
just
better this way.
It is better this way.
The resentment is because they took his mother away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not because she left.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I like that. To me, that is a much more sympathetic way to feel for Arthur Curry, that they stripped his mother away from him. And that goes into Vocal here, right?
Right.
Into William Dafoe and him coming to train and leading him down this line before actually telling him. And so you can see that resentment in the mother in the younger Arthur Curry.
Yeah.
Right? But it doesn't match up with 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
But he has that early resentment, like, let me see my mother.
Yeah.
And why did she leave? Why, if she loved me, why did she leave? So I like that build in the early part. But again, it seems like a retcon to make the character development of both of those much better. And I think it works way better here than having I hate Atlantis because my mother left me to go back to it. Right?
Yeah.
There had to be a bigger reason why he wasn't reconnecting with Atlantis, given his status. They call him a half-breed through a lot of this, right?
Yeah.
And, in some of the exposition over top of the start of all this, when you're seeing Timur Morrison and Nicole Kidman's character come together, it's a forbidden love. And you get this half-breed, which speaks a little bit to kind of social injustice these days. So there's an underlying tone of a lot of that in there, right?
Yeah.
And they use the term half-breed quite a bit in here.
Yeah.
As him being this and why he's not welcome, why he's not heir to the throne proper. Like, that's why it has to be Ocean Master or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a lot of that kind of underlying political theme here or current environment, like social environment theme here? Or is it subtle enough that it was like, okay, yeah, I can buy into maybe what James Wan's trying to say a little bit here, but it wasn't this huge overtone in the film?
I didn't really pay attention too much to that or notice it. It was more just like a small thing about polluting the oceans and how we should stop being dicks to the ocean.
There's so many 6-pack cans floating around.
Yeah.
Plastic things.
Yeah. That's kind of the only political message I guess you could say from that. But other than that, I didn't really pick up on the other stuff.
Yeah. See, I picked up more too on the pollution, and I actually kind of wish they went into that just a little bit more. And the only reason for it is just so I could got more motives of Ocean Master, just a little bit more for him to really come after the surface dwellers. And I think it's a good message to send out there too, because it is pretty disgusting what
I like
going
how,
on
like
out there.
that one scene was the tidal wave scene. They just throw up all the garbage. Onto
Yeah.
Here it is.
The garbage and the warships, and yet no one still questions if Atlantis exists.
Oh, that seemed real weird and convenient that all of our warships are now on top of our cities. So let's jump to modern day here. We get our reintroduction of Arthur Curry, Aquaman here, and it's this Russian naval vessel. These are some of the first scenes that we saw coming out of the first shots, the first look, the sneak peek. Him on this is straight into the first trailer. We get a lot of that kind of early introduction of Aquaman through the trailers in this scene here. Great opening scene for me. This again adds to that first 20 to 30 minutes where I'm edge of my seat, really enjoying what's going on here. What did you guys think of this opening scene, Aquaman here, and then we also get the introduction of Black Manta and his father in this kind of heist pirate scene here?
Yeah, I loved it. Very few things in this film I didn't love, but this was one of the things I loved. Black Manta introduces him and also his father. And I read somewhere that the person who played his father voiced the character of Black Manta in the Justice League animated series.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's a nice little Easter egg for fans out there. I was surprised that they went with Aquaman kind of not saving.
You were
Black
worried
Manta's.
about this coming out.
I was worried that there's gonna be backlash. I mean, look at Man of Steel. People were like, he killed Zod, even though he really had no choice. I was worried that people were gonna jump on this scene and say Aquaman's not a hero. He didn't save Black Manta's dad, even though he's a bad guy. It wasn't up to him to decide if he should live or die. And to me, that's straight out of the comic books. There's a battle going on. Black Manta's father dies, and that's why Black Manta has this like huge hatred for Aquaman, and it's one of the best like rivalries that DC has going. He is Black Manta is to Aquaman as Joker is to Batman, or Lex Luthor is to Superman. So I'm glad they put it in because it is comic book canon, and now it's like DCEU canon. But I was worried that there was gonna be a backlash. When you guys saw the scene, like, was there anything were you guys concerned about that? Did you think it was gonna be, oh no, like here comes a DC hero killing again? Like,
I wasn't worried about it just because Aquaman's not held to that level of responsibility that Superman is. Especially when we've had movies like Logan and Venom too, like fresh off the heels that we're used to these heroes killing a little bit, or the anti-hero, and Deadpool especially. And Aquaman is even more unknown probably than all those other heroes I just mentioned.
Yeah.
So I think it just went right over people's heads. I don't think they were really bothered. And you look at Momoa, he has that Conan badass look to him. That you just buy it, you just go with it.
Well, and to me in there too, there's another drop line when he doesn't save them about what was it? The ocean will decide your fate or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, it's more about like Atlantis and the ocean deciding, and that being more of you live a pirate's lifestyle. So
exactly,
we'll let the ocean decide your fate. The same way, like as a pirate, you live by the law of the sea type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So if the ocean takes your life, that's the ocean's choice.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I read all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, this scene didn't really work that well for me.
Okay,
it wasn't like a highlight, especially coming off of like the Nicole Kidman scene and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There was some weird like Amazing Spider-Man 2 spots where like they had like this weird slowdown, and I can't stand seeing like a choppy slowdown in movies.
Oh, yeah.
But they did do that I think twice here. There's a lot of like those one-liners like permission to board. I know I've seen it in the trailer, but that was like not a selling point for me at all in the trailer. Him like looking at the camera, like all that telegraph kind of stuff for me was just like, this is like we've seen this before. It's pretty cliche, but I mean, all in all, it was action-packed. It was cool. It looked good. It just, some of the lines just didn't work for me.
Yeah, like some of the humor for me didn't land for me. This was one where I was just like, okay, like I kind of got it because like Aquaman is kind of like he's more lighthearted in the comics, right? Like he's not like Batman, like where he's just like just pounding on people, right? Like he does like say stuff like in the animated series he used to be always like outrageous and stuff like that. So he is more like jokey and stuff. So that stuff didn't bother me, but some of the humor really didn't land for me.
Well, and that's with Momoa. I feel like they held him back a little bit in some of these scenes where I feel like the delivery feels a bit more forced than him just being like, cause so when he walks in, we're not gonna skip ahead here, but one of the scenes where he walks into the thing in the Sahara and he goes, "This is badass." I feel like Momoa will ad-lib that. That feels like a lot. Some of the humor is just like, but for me, in like overall in this scene, it was a hard-hitting scene. Like, he's, like, whacking guys around here. He's having fun with it. And the introduction of Black Manta, I would have been cool if it stopped here.
Exactly.
Like, this is a nice seed for later on.
Yeah.
Right.
This sets up the motivation of Black Manta really well.
Yeah.
He blames Aquaman for the death of his father.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, they're both pirates, but it seeds so much more. Leave this, let this boil, and do it in Aquaman too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to re-see or have a reintroduction of Black Manta later on. I kind of get why they did it, but to me, this is like, okay, this would be a really cool nod to all the comic book guys out there, and save this character for later on. Don't bash him off the edge of a mountain and have him just like flop. And then, sure, he comes back and we're going to see him later on, but this would have been a better scene left for the comic book people and be like, who is that guy? And then he shows up later on and kicks some serious ass Aquaman too.
And give him the right movie to act in at that point.
Yeah, because that's and this is where it's funny because I'm kind of sitting on the fence on this one a little bit because, like you said, Troy, there's two villains here. We get the first introduction to Black Manta, and he is connected to Orem, right?
Yes.
There's this bigger coup, as I'm calling it, subplot line that I didn't love.
Yeah.
So Black Manta is used in here as a pawn for Orem trying to seed a bigger battle, or at least gather enough support so he can become Ocean Master, right?
Yeah.
So I guess basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sunjay, from what I gathered here is that you have 7 different tribes of Atlantis that separated at some point. And the idea is if you can get enough support, 4 majority support, you can declare yourself Ocean Master and you'll rule whatever, Atlantis or the seas or whatever. And so Orem's big idea here is to demonstrate there's a bigger surface threat, gather the tribes up, and have and state himself as Ocean Master and essentially command the biggest army on planet Earth and essentially run Earth through from the ocean, right?
Yeah, like in the comics they changed it a bit. Like he's the king. Like when they introduced him in the New 52, he's already the king of Atlantis, half brother of Aquaman.
Firstborn too, right?
No, he's the younger one.
Oh, he's the younger one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
sorry,
the
the original, he's the firstborn.
Oh,
before
yeah.
New 52, he's the firstborn, I believe.
Yeah. So I think they like changed it up. So now he's like the younger one, and I can't remember. Like he just wants to invade Earth just to like kind of take it over. That's kind of like the Rise of Atlantis, or I can't remember what the title was.
Throne of Atlantis?
Throne of Atlantis. Yeah, that was like the kind of the first like introduction of Aquaman and like the Justice League, and like for me. But it's been a while since I've read it. But yeah, I think they kind of switched it up because he's already king and he doesn't need to go through all these like trials and tribulations to be Ocean Master.
Mm-hmm.
He's already Ocean Master. He kind of just like a king who's an evil king that Aquaman's like the reluctant, like I don't really want to go to Atlantis and deal with it.
Well, that's my biggest struggle in this film. This is where I'm going to lay probably my heaviest criticism at it, is that I didn't like Orem and I didn't like his plot. I didn't like that underlying, we're going to pause this for a little bit. We're going to pause Aquaman's story and we're going to swing over and do an Atlantis story for a bit. We're going to have him talking to this other leader. We're going to have them going and killing this fish dude. You know, it seemed like it was too much pausing for that. Like, I would have liked it better if Orem was just a tyrant king of some sort and Mera had to go and say, you need to come help us. Yeah. And then, again, seed something for later. This is where, when I went in our spoiler-free section criticizing that they shoved everything in, I feel like they felt that they needed to do, let's gather this, let's make him Ocean Master. To me, you could have left some of that, too. You didn't need to introduce all 7 or whatever they did, 6 or 5 of the tribes.
Yeah.
They this whole underlying idea of him going and doing this and having these secret meetings with called Drago,
That's so cool.
who I didn't even recognize, by the way,
because his acting was really good.
Yeah, he was really
good.
well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But to me, that's where I struggled the most with this. Did you guys did you like the Orem stuff? Did you like the actor playing Orem? Like, how did you feel about that? Because that to me is even where the CGI fails too, is when they have all the sharks and the seahorses and all this shit
Octopus
lining up,
playing
right?
drums.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's what I didn't like. You still could have had that big arena battle.
Yeah.
When they brought Aquaman down, but it's just this underlying subplot. To me, do away with it and put more of Momoa's story in there.
I'm actually gonna go the opposite. I think it was the right thing to do. I mean, if you look at Man of Steel with Zod, he was kind of the best villain up until this point. I still think he is.
Yeah.
In the DC Extended Universe, we got a lot of backstory of Zod. We got a lot of backstory of him. DC tried like the evil for sake of being evil with Steppenwolf, with Incubus, with Enchantress, and those villains kind of fell flat to me.
Yeah.
This one is like a much more well-rounded villain. I'd say he's probably the second best in the DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
I mean, it's not like a high bar at this point, but...
I'm not saying have a blind evil villain. Like,
Yeah.
he keeps some of the similar motivations with the surface world and all that. It's just dial it back a little bit. Like, save the Ocean Master thing for later on. Save the gathering of the tribes for later on. Not in this film, not later on in the film, but later on in the universe. But I get why they did it. Like, I understand the purpose of it.
Yeah.
But to me, you could have done Ocean Master in 2 or 3.
Oh,
right? Like, build up to that. Like, have him be this tyrant king and want to battle, but take his own army to battle. And that's why, you know what I mean? It just seemed like it was too much for me.
I see what you're saying. Like, it would have been really cool if they did kind of like Lord of the Rings style, where they have him, like, you know, gathering support through like 2-3 movies. And then, like, at the end of 3, it's like this huge, like,
that's what,
like, that would have been really cool, but I don't think they would have had that luxury.
Well, that's where it comes. That's where this criticism that I'm laying at it is somewhat unfair, because I understand why they crafted it this way.
And they still might, because the good thing is, and I'm so thankful, they didn't kill any of their villains.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate when they do that. I mean, I think he can come back, and I think Black Manta can come back too, so... You know, we can still get that. Maybe he'll like go underground and like get this like rebel support, and then in 3, they have to like quash it or something. I don't know, because like Aquaman has like really 2 big villains, and they're both in this film.
But they're both in this film. They're kind of tied up a little bit in this film. Like they're clearly there go forward. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Troy, what did you think of Orem?
You know, I really, really liked him. Is it Patrick Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always seen this guy around. I've never really seen any of his films, but in this movie,
He's in Watchmen.
Right, that's
Yeah.
it. It's Watchmen.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grabs. Yeah.
And
No.
he's in Batman v Superman.
Who is he in Batman v Superman?
He's the president. He's the voice of the president. So a little Easter egg.
Voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No,
It's like, what?
Ocean Master for me, I really liked. I'm with you. He's number 2 in the DC route for me for when it comes to villains. And I feel, for your point, Tim, I blame more of the writing, the story group for that situation as opposed to like even the actor. And I'm not saying you're necessarily blaming the actor, but I just felt like we needed more time with the villain. Not even just DC, but even in Marvel films. This is a new trend now where we need more time with the villains to build them up. And I feel like they did that in this movie. But the whole like motivation was a little wonky for me. I'm a really, really big fan of the gladiator scene. Like that worked for me. But there's a lot of moments with Ocean Master where the CG looks funny, and it's not even his actual helmet from the comic, which actually looked good. It's like the crown that he was wearing.
Oh,
that looked really weird to me in some spots. But him, Patrick Wilson, he was really cool. I like the dynamic between him and Momoa. I like that he didn't necessarily want to kill him. He gave him like a warning. He gave him a couple of tries, like get out of here.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. You have no idea what you're doing.
Right.
That was cool. The relationship between him and Mira didn't necessarily work for me, but again, that's not on the actors. That's just on like the writing. But all in all, yeah, I was on board with Patrick Wilson, man. It was kind of Zod-ish, except I liked Zod's motives far more.
Yeah.
And I think he had more to chew, more material to chew on.
Oh yeah.
Putting a guy in an Ocean Master costume, like especially comic accurate, like could have gone so bad, and it actually looked really, really good in this movie.
I love it. Yeah, the purple and like the mask was like expressive.
Yeah.
Like, you could see it move with his like expressions, and that's something that's like really cool. It's kind of like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he has like the expressive mask. I like that. You know, keep going with that.
Yeah. And I like that they saved this guy for him to come back. Whether they go the whole Loki route and he teams up with Aquaman, or he's like that. Worse than ever.
Yeah.
I'm down with either way, honestly, for me.
I would love to see him pop up in either like Suicide Squad 2, maybe just like throw him in there, and he's just like, I'm with these peons, like I'm the leader, and have like kind of that dynamic.
Yeah.
Or pop up if Justice League 2 with the Legion of Doom.
Yes.
Being like you know, come join us. Your brother took the throne, but you can get it back. We're going to take over the world.
Yeah.
And I think he would be a great addition to that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't like Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, you didn't like him though.
Really?
Yeah.
That's probably that's the part that I don't like the actor. I didn't find he had any chemistry with Amber Heard. I didn't think his dynamic, maybe he was trying to play, and maybe this is the point of it, and I just didn't see it as well, is that he's trying to play such a stark contrast to Jason Momoa's character.
Right.
Him being like the half-breed and him being like this purebred, blonde-haired, like king, right? Yeah. So like in that sense, I can see that a bit more, but there's something about Patrick Wilson's delivery and all that. It just seemed very stiff.
Really?
To me. I just couldn't buy it. I agree that like in the DC extended universe, he is probably the second best. But like you said, it's not a high standard. Like Zod, I agree, is up top. Like he is like in comic book film one of the better villains.
I agree. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
But Orem, that's where I struggled the most with this film. Is that's why I said at the top, like I wanted more Momoa and I wanted less of this subplot.
Right.
And I said that at the table when we're talking with Carlson, and you guys are all like, yeah, we all like. So I feel like I may be in the minority with that criticism I'm laying at Orem, at Patrick Wilson, and that whole subplot.
Right.
But that's okay.
Yeah. We need more octopus playing drums.
Yes. Yes.
No more ants playing the drums. And no more octopuses.
Well, that's actually Easter egg, because in the comics, Aquaman teaches his pet octopus how to play the drums.
Really?
Yeah. Back in like, of course,
That's
like the
hilarious.
golden age.
The Aquaman.
To me, I kind of just laughed. It was like a 3-second clip. It kind of worked with like the whole like gladiator thing, and they had the jellyfish. Short. Yeah, you know, it was
the one quick like, this is real goofy. Aquaman's kind of goofy sometimes. Right?
Yeah,
I was okay with that. Let's talk about Mara here. We kind of said at the top that Amber Heard was really great in this role. Man. She had great chemistry here. Her character comes into the fray. Well, that was a good squeak. Her character comes into the fray because her father pledges allegiance to Orem, and she is betrothed to Orem, I believe here. Like she is set to marry him to join these two kingdoms, my guess would be. And she's the one that actually kind of goes off and starts talking to Jason Momoa's Aquaman. She's the one that brings him into the fray. Say, you need to come back. There's this huge plan to attack the surface world. That's again coming back to this great motivation established early on with Tamora Morrison's character and his Momoa's connection to the bigger Earth or the surface dwelling people. So I liked all of that. Mara, little bit more detail, guys. Troy, I'll throw it to you first.
man.
What are you thinking about Mara here, Amber Heard?
I had no idea she's going to be this much of a force to be reckoned with on the big screen. Like, she commanded the presence of the audience to just keep the eyes on her. Like, she was great. I don't know anything of her filmography by any means. I don't know anything that she's been in, but I thought she was awesome. Like, I've seen the trailers, I've seen the Comic-Con clip, and I was like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
When she was there toe-to-toe with Momoa, like I said, I felt like she outdid Momoa in a lot of ways. I don't know if she had the better dialogue or what, because for me, Jason Momoa, I felt like he had better lines, and he was just an overall better actor in the other films. Like in Justice League, that comedy scene that he had when he was tied.
Sit on the rope.
Good.
Is hilarious and is
Yeah.
believable. And in this movie, it's a little different. But anyways, back to Amber Heard. She was fantastic. All in all, again, wearing like that costume, she made it work. The red hair, the wig, like I could totally look past it. It didn't bother me by any means. Unlike Loki's wig in Ragnarok, that bothered me.
Yeah.
But this looked really good in this film. Like all around, she was great. I loved just seeing her and Momoa go back and forth at it. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like the comic suit is comic accurate.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing. James Wan was not afraid to put comic accurate suits in this film.
You're right.
And hats off to him. That all
It is
the
a comic
suits.
book movie film.
Well, he fixed the comic suit of Aquaman. Like he gave us a proper Aquaman costume.
Oh yeah, he definitely changed. Like Aquaman's been in 3 films and he's had 3 different costumes.
More than Batman. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's like a Barbie accessory doll.
You gotta make it toyetic, man. You gotta sell them toys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Mira was great though. I mean, she has to be in Justice League 2. She has to join the Justice League. She's joined it in recent times. She's had her own comic. She's kind of getting a little bit of a push here. She's kind of stepping out of the shadows of Aquaman and becoming her own well-developed character. And it's good to see. I want to see more Mira. Like, as I said, she's got to be in Justice League. She's got to be a member of the Justice League. She can't just show up and say 2 lines of dialogue and then she's out of here.
Yeah.
She has, like, she's so badass. Like, she controls water. There's a scene in Justice League that they cut, which boggles my mind, where she's fighting Steppenwolf and she takes all the water out of Steppenwolf's body and, like, it makes him weak. Like, oh, that's so cool. They should have kept it in. Of course, they cut it.
Well, that's why I want to know, because I don't know much about Mira, but is she the only Atlantean that can control water? Like, that's
I think
just
so,
her
yeah.
thing?
She's got, like, water kinesis, so any kind of water, like the wine scene where she's, like,
Yeah.
making them bullets. Like, that was cool.
That's cool.
She has, like, the scene where she saves Aquaman and his dad, where she, like, makes that giant, like, bubble of the tidal wave. That was really
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I love that. And there's so much cool stuff you can play with it. The special effects look cool. Yeah, I agree. Like, she's got to join Wonder Woman in this Justice League and not just make it like an all boys plus 1 club. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get like her in it and Wonder Woman and
Supergirl, she's out there.
right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, for me, Mara, she was great. There was a point there where I was worried. Okay, is she gonna be able to stand toe to toe with Jason Momoa? Like, can she banter with this guy who's a very overpowering presence, very charismatic presence on screen? And she does. She puts him right back in his seat and says, no, like, we're going to, like, some of the discussion in the Sahara was really great.
Yeah.
Sicily stuff was good, except for the kind of really the heavy love stuff. But yeah, overall, her presence on screen was great, really welcomed, and a big surprise for me. One of probably the standouts of the film.
Yeah.
Oh, her facial expressions. Just like a Momoa would say something stupid, and like she'd look at him like, you're an idiot. Like, I love that. That was great.
Well, I think one of her lines in there is, you're better at something when you're not thinking. You're better.
Yeah.
So it's great. Like, she really puts him in his place, which I really love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then let's talk about Arthur Curry himself, Aquaman, Jason Momoa. This is the title character. We've seen him a couple times. He's made his first, I guess, cameo appearance in Batman vs. Superman, his first big presence, on-screen presence in the Justice League. Now we're here in his own film. Jason Momoa was the guy. We've been saying this for months, for years. He's been waving this flag. He's a very charismatic presence. He is a wild-ass man on stage and in this film. I love him in this role. He fits it to a T. Like we said, the only criticism I'll lay, I wish that he was on screen a bit more, and I wish they'd given him a bit better lines when it comes to the comedic aspect of it. He's the guy that needs to be laying down these kind of goofy but works lines. Like, he needs to be that quippy guy, he's not even playing the fish out of water, but just pointing out things, almost the audience perspective of, this is crazy ass shit. Why is there an octopus playing drums down here? Stuff like that. That's the stuff I want from Jason Momoa. Didn't get enough of that. Yeah. But overall, that's a slight criticism. Overall, fantastic. What'd you guys think?
Again, I think actually, I mean, a fully featured film of him. So this is his first big starring role, which was cool. So I guess it's hard for me to compare it to the other two roles because they're so minimal compared to this. That being said, though, it wasn't my favorite performance of Aquaman, of Jason Momoa. Like, you look at guys like Robert Downey Jr., you could say, well, he's just playing himself when he plays Tony Stark. Right. And there's some truth behind that, and it kind of works, but they give him better dialogue to chew on.
Yes.
In this, too, you could say the same thing, well, he's the wild guy, which is true. Yeah. Not many actors can do what he does, but at the same time, give us that dialogue that he can really chew because he can do it. You know, so again, my faults come to more of the writing, the screenwriters, than actual Momoa's performance, because he's getting some really not cringeworthy, dialogue, but just some stuff that like takes me out of the film.
You want to see him a bit more of like, and not to lay this comparison because it's a very obvious comparison, but you want to see like a Ragnarok Hemsworth.
Thank you. Yeah.
For Momoa,
a little bit at least.
Like to me, like that's what I like. I think it's hard because those are like your easiest comparisons across the board.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of people have been making
a little bit more of that. I think for me, like in the writing just needs to be more clever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like to me, Ragnarok. I know, like, a lot of people love it, but to me, it's just too much comedic.
But even if you go Infinity War, like, just seeing that dialogue between Chris Hemsworth and Rocket, like,
that was great. I shouldn't believe
banter.
At all.
But I love that scene. Like, I wanted some more of that from Momoa because Momoa is capable of doing it.
Yeah,
it's just I wasn't getting that in this film, so that's my only quip. I really hope that we do get better writing for this character going down because it's like. This is his world. Like, he owns this. Right now, it's him and Gal Gadot that are saving this universe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you bring up a good point, but, like, if you look at the MCU, you look at the characters in their first appearances compared to Infinity War.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like when you sit on a couch when you first get it, and it's, like, kind of stiff, but, like, they've kind of got that, like, ass groove on the couch now where they got, like, a nice, well-worn, like, it's comfortable now. And, Momoa's kind of just, like, getting into that. So, like, the more times he plays Aquaman, just the more natural it feels. Like, it's kind of like a weird territory.
It's not Momoa, though. It's the writer.
That's the thing. It's not Momoa because, like I said, like this is his third time playing that role. So it's not Momoa. It's just the writers. But again, like Chris Hemsworth had like 3 different directors, 4 or 5 different
But
directors.
you look at the early iterations of Thor, like the Branagh and all that. Like he's trying to be this Shakespearean, this Arthurian character.
Yeah,
didn't work.
Yeah, they eventually found it. So it took him like 4 films.
Well, even like Aquaman, in the beginning of Justice League, he's like this gruff outsider who like doesn't really want to like help Batman.
Yeah.
And then like in beginning of Aquaman, he's like this completely different person. So they kind of like on the fly switched it up.
Yeah. But he changes throughout Justice League because Justice League, at the end of Justice League, he's more like this Aquaman.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think even in this one he changes. Like at the end, when he gets on the suit, he is like the Aquaman from the comics.
Yeah.
He kind of it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
But I think he earns like that suit and that trident in that moment.
But for you, because I know you're more of like a serious guy, not because you like DC, but you don't want all the fat of like the humor, the Ryan Johnson stuff. You want something more like a Man of Steel, right? So how'd you feel about Momoa in this one?
Like to be honest, like I don't like hate humor or like I'm against humor. But it's just got to be in the right spots.
Yeah.
A film like Wonder Woman, to me, that's why I love it so much, is because the humor was in the right spots.
Yeah,
they didn't like she wasn't like battling like Steve Trevor didn't just die and then she like drops a one-liner.
Right.
Aquaman to me was close to Wonder Woman, but still I think sometimes the humor was like not even like just Momoa, but like the humor around it to me sometimes was out of place. Yeah. Like he's in the bar and these biker guys are like, "Hey, you that fish boy." And then like he pulls out a pink cell phone with like sparkles on it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this biker guy wouldn't be carrying that cell phone. Like they could have set that up so much better. Like they could have like made it like something different, or like the Sicily scene with Merc and he's chasing, and then he like loses his helmet, and then he needs to like put his head in the toilet. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, this is like a general in like the Atlantis army, and like you're degrading him to that degree.
Yeah,
like humor like that. I think those were like the 2 big standouts.
The Pitbull music scene, like the
okay, we'll talk about that. I actually thought that one was just okay. Yeah. Like I didn't like absolutely hate it. The one I didn't like was the Black Manta. With
cut that completely out.
What was that? Like that music was like some random rock song?
That was horrible.
Yeah, brutal.
That was horrible.
And that's again where Manta should have been kind of knocked out of this.
Yeah,
right? Like
I felt so bad for that guy. And then they threw in that little humor joke of his at the end.
Yeah.
With, I need a bigger helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, the laser went off and the music was so bad.
Where was the Pitbull music?
When he comes out of the water when they're like going to the Sahara.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was tough.
The one I really liked was when they're in Sicily and they play that Roy Orbison song, like Mystery Woman. and they're just like kind of like doing like the tour. I love that
Well,
song. That's
let's-
a good song.
Let's talk about Sicily a little bit here.
Okay.
We're gonna skip
All right,
ahead.
are we
We'll-
gonna go to Sicily, right, to prepare for this? So Tim's
Yeah.
gonna fly all of us out to Sicily, and we're gonna continue this podcast.
It's a beautiful
in
place. Let
Italian.
me say. Actually, I'm gonna put a pin in that for a second because we had a couple things I want to discuss before we get to Sicily.
Cool.
If we're going a little bit more chronologically here, but I want to talk about Sicily.
All right,
I got,
okay.
I got a little something.
All right,
No, but let's talk about some of the first Aquaman fight scenes here. Like, we talked about the Russian naval submarine one here. We get kind of two back-to-back ones here. We've got where Mera brings Aquaman down to talk to Vulko in that ship, that bubble ship. And that's another scene that we saw from some of the sneak preview stuff, is how they did that with the lighting and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice to have a bubble. They kind of avoided some of that weird talk and all that. But we get a big fight scene here with Aquaman fighting this elite Death Trooper squad or whatever.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Really great stuff here. I really liked what they did as far as the visuals in here, and seeing him kind of go toe to toe with these guys and eventually get knocked out. It was pretty good because that leads us into the arena fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big CGI scene here.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of these two back-to-back fight scenes that we get here? One that's a bit more personal with Jason Momoa doing a bit more of the physical acting in the sense that we're not doing it in water. And then we move to our first big underwater fight scene with the CGI hair, with the talking. Like, what did you guys think about these two fight scenes and how they contrasted each other?
Okay, so the first one, the personal one, you would say between the
elite squad or whatever.
those horrible looking things, because like again, I like the CGI. It's for me, my problem is the design choice of these things. It looks like if you watch the old 60s Spider-Man cartoon and J. Jonah Jameson has like the spider slayer and they look really ridiculous. That's what this thing looks like. I couldn't stand seeing these things come up on the screen. But actual fight choreography and everything like that was awesome.
Yeah, great.
That was great. Worked for me there.
Yeah, the first one, I just didn't dig what he was wearing. It just didn't feel like Aquaman to me. Like, he's got, like, the leather, like, pants on and, like, the vest and stuff.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's very
that
Jason
biker
Momoa.
kind
Yeah,
of.
I
I don't like it.
I don't know, man. Like,
It was Jason Momoa's
it was
clothes
Jason
of the day.
Momoa,
Yeah.
but it wasn't, like, Aquaman.
You like Sons of Anarchy though? That's your show.
Yeah, but like Momoa just walked on and said, they said, here's your costume. He's like, yeah, I'm not changing to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I mean, were you going to argue
We're
with
just
him?
gonna
I'm
spray
not
with
going to
the
argue with
hose
him.
and go from there.
The gladiator scene, I thought his outfit was kind of like funny, kind of goofy with like the different like armors. I thought Ocean Master looked pretty sick in his getup. I love like the arena and everything around it, and like they threw up like the stats and stuff. That was kind of cool. And the fight stuff was really cool, and it wasn't like Aquaman getting his ass kicked. Like, he kind of held his own a little bit, but he was a little bit overmatched. But it wasn't like insane, like to an insane degree.
I like that they established that early on with Vulko too. Like, that he trained. It wasn't like Aquaman coming in without ever training underwater or without a trident and all that.
Yeah.
They gave you a little bit of context for there. Because, like, if you had walked in and went toe-to-toe with Orem, you kind of been like, okay. Like, how does he know how to do... How does he know how to fight underwater like this?
Yeah.
They gave us context, which I like.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was so cool. I like, played into Momoa's character too, where Mera's like, you can't do this, don't do it. He's like, no, I'm doing this. I'm gonna kick his ass to be done. But it doesn't work that way. The visuals, again, are great. Like, just seeing... Ocean Master just like turn his back and like swim, like the swimming, even though it seems like easy, like it's really well done. Like, that's so cool how they do that kind of stuff. And I like the chanting. I like the whole gladiator effect of the crowd going nuts, and the scoreboard I could maybe do without. But I thought it was a really cool scene. A little reminiscent of Black Panther's kind of like ritual scene when they fight for the mantle of Black Panther. A little bit of that, but on a bigger scale, really.
Yeah. This movie, what's it called? When you make like it's called a GIF, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this movie is so gifable. Like they're gonna be like throwing these stuff out. Yeah, gifable. Hashtag gifable.
Forgivable.
Yeah. Like when the crowd like looks at each other and they cheer.
Yeah.
Like people like threads. That's gonna be on every like message board in like 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone like makes a good comeback and they'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, it was an entertaining scene. It kind of got you back into the moment there and it was being our first like big underwater stuff. We had scenes before. The hair and the talking. To me, they toned down that weird like overlay of talking, like almost like this like echoey, gurgly type talk.
Yeah.
They got rid of it as the film went on, and I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Because that to me sounded a bit funny. Like the echo, like they've definitely put something over top of the voices.
Yeah.
And that was a bit much for me. But in this scene, like I don't have any issues with the CGI here. It looks great, really dynamic fight. A ton of fun. One scene that I want to talk about now that we've gotten through these two big early fight scenes is when we're referring to the score.
Yes.
And this is when Aquaman was first brought to Atlantis, or wherever they go, the capital city, with Mera. And Mera, not Mira. And they're in the ship or whatever, and Momoa's like wide-eyed, like, this looks incredible. This is my favorite CGI stuff.
So good.
Is the framing shots of Atlantis.
Right.
And then walking in there with the scene, the Tron, I think you said coming out.
Tron music.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, and it's in one of the trailers. I just watched one of the extended trailers before you guys got here. It's in there.
Yeah.
It is so good. It's got like that kind of synthesized
Daft Punk,
80s
man.
Daft
Oh,
Punk.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
exactly.
true. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
That is the best part of the score.
Loved it.
And it frames really nicely with these big setting scenes of Atlantis, and it gives you that, like, when like Arthur Curry's going in there, he's like wide-eyed, like, whoa, this is the way we're feeling.
That's the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're just showing off at this point, and I like keep doing it because this looks great. I think you're right. That's like at its peak for its visuals. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because it's subtle, right? It's like very simple framing. Not simple in the sense CGI simple, but it's just like, here's a visual. You don't have like shit flying all over the place, right?
Yeah, and it feels huge. Like
Yeah.
underwater feels massive, like it should. You know?
See it in IMAX. Like, we all saw it in IMAX, and it was definitely worth
Beautiful.
it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So at the end of this fight, Mera comes and saves Aquaman from Orm, who's wants to kill Aquaman
At this point, yeah.
So they take off into what I'm calling or dubbing Raiders of the Lost Trident. And this is where we pick up the whole, you must find the trident. We get this from Vogel in exposition earlier on. You must find it. So they end up in the Sahara. And this, again, is where you get a lot of really great chemistry with Mera and Aquaman. I love what they're doing here. This is cool. We get all that big exposition. We've talked about this in the past, about how you need to find the trident. My favorite line in this whole thing, and we said this when we reviewed the trailer, was when she smashes the thing on the ground. She says, well, we should have written it, or he says, you should have written it down. And he says, blah, 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 something about the trident.
Yeah.
Again, audience perspective. All you need to know is trident.
Yeah, exactly.
Really great scene. But this leads us into the Battle of Sicily here.
That's right.
And before we get into this really great favela-looking Battle of Sicily, is a little brief moment here where we pause the film and we develop a love interest between the two of them.
Beautiful.
They eat the rose, all that kind of stuff.
Cute.
To me, again, my biggest criticism of laying at this film is save things for later.
Yeah.
I don't love this part of the Sicily thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't into the chemistry. To me, feels great, but wait a little bit to make it love interest. I know where this goes eventually.
Yeah.
To me, go straight into the fight scene in Sicily. You didn't need to take this brief pause and have the overlay of the music and like all this going on, the kids and all that. You're humanizing them a bit. You're letting some time to develop. I get it from a filmmaking perspective. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
See, to me, my rebuttal is like, this film has so much going for it. Like, there's so many action scenes. You know, you just had like a gladiator battle, and now you took a submarine, and now you're in Sicily. It's like a globe-trotting film. And I kind of like that they took a second to like breathe. It reminded me a lot of the Wonder Woman film, where after they just saved the city in Belgium, I think it's Veld, and then like Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor are just dancing in the snow. Just like that brief, like, intimate moment.
After No Man's Land?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to me that lends itself a bit more because I feel there's more. I don't know if it's a sense of urgency with Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman because you know what eventually happens.
Yeah.
And this, I'm like, this could be strung out a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we don't know at the end of the film what the relationship is, if they're going steady.
He pulls her pretty tight and says, "Come here, my queen."
Yeah.
He doesn't say that, but that's the impression I got. Get over here.
I mean, they're still in like, they'll still develop this in the sequel, and
of course.
Hopefully, the third one is there's a wedding involved, an Atlantean wedding, because that'd be really cool imagery, or maybe even the end of the second one. But they'll definitely develop this more. I just like that, it was just like a brief pause, and I liked the music. I thought the music choice was on point. It was like the best of the three songs that they had.
The two were also terrible.
Cool. Yeah.
But what'd you think?
I'm kind of with both of you guys here. I feel like we really could have done well throughout the whole film without any romance. Yeah. Honestly, some of the best superhero films have been done that way. But at the same time, when they decide to throw this whole little love scene in here, I think it's just executed poorly. I mean, if you had to do it right there at that time throughout like half the film, so be it. But like the music, I wasn't buying.
Really? I thought it was a cute song.
Nah,
I listened to the song like on YouTube when I'm at work. I'm like, it's a nice song, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, then again, I listen to Thanos' snapping music, so porch. So who am I?
Hopefully you don't snap along with the beat.
Yeah. But yeah, the music didn't work for me. The whole little Pinocchio thing they threw in that Pinocchio movie. Where'd you get it from? I thought it was a book. No, it was the movie. Whatever.
Yeah. I was like, why are you throwing Disney business?
I know. Like, why are you doing that?
You should show something that's WB, like Looney Tunes or something. Like it worked for Bugs Bunny, and then like showed Bugs
Then
Bunny.
Anvil falls.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wish it was just handled better. You know, you mentioned that Steve Trevor and Gal Gadot scene, Wonder Woman.
So good.
That was really well done.
Yeah.
I wish we got something a little more similar, like a little like quieter on the score. Like this music, there's the music here sometimes is so out of left field. What they throw at you, again, it's like Black Manta and Ocean Master. It's like two different films going on here. Same with the music. So.
I feel like they just kind of ran their finger along. What does WB have access to? Well, this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Play
toss
something on
that in.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yes. Alexa.
Yeah. Play romantic love song.
Well, that's the first one. It's in there. Now, this next scene is probably one of my favorite fight sequences in the whole film. We get Black Manta coming back, declaring, I think, at this point that his name is Black Manta.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's taken whatever technology Orm's give him, which is the Atlantean subsuits or whatever and all that. Modified. We had that weird scene with him doing all the modification. Just skip that. But we get into this really great chase sequence. I referred to it like a few seconds ago, a favela type thing. Like, you know, in one of the Fast films when they're going through all the favelas in Brazil, and you're running through everything down a giant hill. It feels a lot like that.
Yeah.
The camera angles, cinematography, the editing, all really well done here. This, with the exception of the toilet part, is a really great chase sequence, a really great sequence in the film, in a film that has quite a few big action set pieces. Like, if there's anything to be said about this film, it is action packed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, this scene was really cool, especially, you know, you're going big here. It's a daytime scene, so it's a lot harder to pull off, and they still make it work. We're getting, like, Mira being chased by the putties or whatever. And then in the background, you can see Aquaman being chased by Black Manta.
Yeah.
And then it pans back to them. Like, I love that. Again, kind of like a continuous shot.
Yeah.
You know, that was fantastic. Black Manta, for me, for some reason, didn't look as good as I thought he was going to look. I know a lot of you guys like it. But other than that, the fighting was cool. The action scene, you mentioned the wine. Which was so cool. Again, I'm with Tim.
Oh, yeah, the
much.
wine.
Yeah, when she's surrounded there, and then
yeah.
she drew out all the wine and made them into bullets. But I'm with you. Was it you or somebody? I think you guys both said the toilet scene.
Yeah.
He smashed his head into the toilet.
Come on, man.
That was pretty poor.
That goes to your humor. Like you said, it takes you right out of that.
Yeah.
Like we got all these massive dynamic shots. And, like going in and out of the buildings and like combining the two scenes, like you're saying, Troy, where like you end Amber Heard's scene and then you spin around and you pick up Arthur Curry. Like,
in the background.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Like everything was amazing except for that one like 5-second thing. Which whatever. Wasn't my favorite, but everything else was so good. Just like going on the rooftops, and they actually shot that on location. Like I don't think very much of that was CGI. So hats off to them. Like it looked beautiful. The one-on-one battle with Black Manta and Aquaman was pretty cool. Like he got some shots in. Like he wasn't just going down. Like Black Manta wasn't just getting beat like he was the first time.
Right.
He kind of learned from it. I'm curious to see where they go with the sequel because he's already been beaten by Aquaman. So
and like beaten hard. Like, that dude falling off that cliff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I was confused by that because I thought he was dead. Like I thought they killed him off. The way it wrapped around his head and like bashed him in the face.
I was like,
okay.
oh, why would you kill him? Like if they killed him off, I would have been a lot more mad.
Yeah.
About their misuse of Black Manta.
Right.
But because he's gonna come back, I think they could have either used him less or more in this film.
Yeah.
And because he's coming back, I'll forgive it.
Yeah.
If they make it up for it in the sequel, if he's like still like a secondary villain in the sequel, I'd be like, oh, come on.
Big mistake.
Yeah, he's got to be like the main big bad, and maybe he'll learn from the guy who helps him at the end. I forget his name. I think it's Dr. Stephen Shin.
Oof.
Randall
Sorry,
Park.
that guy.
Randall Park,
Because he was in Ant-Man,
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
and he was like, okay, I'll pass when Ant-Man.
He fits in that movie.
Yeah.
Not in
this movie. I was like, what? Again, like, dude, you're acting in another film right now.
Yeah.
So the news anchor scene. I was like, what is wrong with that one guy in the corner there? Just losing it. And then they brought him back in the after credit scene. I was just like, oh, this is terrible. Right
well,
now.
like in the comics, he kind of helps Arthur develop his powers, and he knows a lot about Atlantis, and no one believes him that Atlantis is real. Okay. And then he finally, I think he like breaks Arthur's secret that this guy's Atlantean, and then that's how he comes out to the world.
Oh.
I think that's like New 52. That's how it happens.
Okay.
So like this one, maybe he's like been studying Atlantis his whole life, and with it, maybe he'll like pass that knowledge on to Black Manta, and maybe now
Right.
Black Manta knows a little bit more about Aquaman that he can defeat him. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I was really hoping his helmet was going to take him out right there at the end.
Oh, just like shoot him out and be
Yeah,
like, this guy's done.
Yeah, just do us a favor. Yeah, it's terrible. That guy's terrible.
So we go, as we're running through this film, we go from this big action set piece
Yeah.
to another great action set piece.
Yeah.
And that's when we're running up against the trench here. So we're chasing the MacGuffin, we're chasing the Tridents. This, to me, is a standout for cinematography.
Beautiful.
So the trench, these characters are one of the 7 kingdoms, correct?
Yeah.
They're regressed. They make a drop. There's a drop line in there about some of us evolved and some of us regressed. These are
Right.
basically monsters that are in the trench, like one of the depths, one of the deepest parts, eventually leading to the middle of the earth. Kind of weird. But anyways, we get this attack scene where they're attacking this little boat that they're on. But holy man, when they are flying, going straight down and being chased
Yeah.
by these hordes, and they have the flare.
Yeah.
Oh, and like that splash screen where you have the boat, the ocean,
Yeah.
all this stuff, and the flare is like sparking or pulsing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get this view of how many of these creatures there are.
Oh.
Yeah, clearly you guys loved it the same way I did. Like I could watch that scene over and over
my
again.
It's
God.
beautiful. Yeah. It was like, I know they show that shot in the trailer, but my God, that was
Was that in
beautiful.
the trailer? Really?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's
Totally
in the
went over
extended
my head.
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a very like brief.
Yeah, it was just a glimpse
Really,
of it.
Yeah.
totally went over my head because I'm thinking like when I saw that, I'm like, man, like you put that on just like a poster, like I'm looking at your Avenger posters. You
Yeah.
put that just as a poster, and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Aquaman coming, so and so. That's like a different film. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like, what are we in for? This is James Wan doing like a horror
Yeah,
Aquaman.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looked good, man. Cinematography on another level.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The one nitpick that I have about the trench in this is that Aquaman, once he gets to Trident, he's able to control the trench, and it's a big deal. They're like, he controls the trench. He must be the one true king. But in the comics, the trench are so devolved that they're so prehistoric that Aquaman's like telepathic powers to see life doesn't work on them. And that's what makes them like a compelling villain, is that they're just like mindless, brainless hordes.
Right.
And I was hoping that they wouldn't have done that in the film, because then they could come back for maybe like, you know, a sequel or a trilogy where they come back. Like, I think they're introduced in Aquaman, New 52 at the beginning, where they just like start like taking people and like killing them and eating them and stuff. So, and like Aquaman can't like use his telepathy to stop him. So I thought that would have been cool to put that.
See, this is where it comes back to my earlier criticism of don't throw everything at us. Is that you could have used the trench in that exact fashion, right?
Yeah.
They're chasing them, but no more. No big, huge... I know you need a big set piece at the end here, but you could have removed that and just said, okay, well, who are the trench people? Oh, they're one of the 7 kingdoms.
Yeah.
And built on that, like slowly introduce them. Here, this is a great introduction and a great use of these characters for that exact reason. Not having them reappear, I would have been completely fine with too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll come back. Who knows what we're going to do? I mean, we're all in agreement that they're getting a sequel and a trilogy.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things that we're like saying, like, oh, you know, maybe like I didn't like this or that. Maybe like in the sequel and the trilogy, they'll fix it so that way, like, look at Winter Soldier and First Avenger.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to Winter Soldier the sequel. So some of these nitpicks that we have that we're like, okay, they fixed it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hopefully.
It's very plausible. And as we again continue to rock through this, the reunion and revelation of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you say her name?
Atlanta, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. So Mira and Aquaman find themselves in the center of the earth in some like weird place or whatever, but she pops back up, and I can find myself like I can say I was legitimately shocked that she was back in the film. And I kind of liked it. Like, did you guys like the reemergence, or do you think that detracts away from his motivations, like his initial motivations, that she's actually still alive?
I liked it, yeah. Nicole Kidman's a great actress, despite what you two say.
I don't say she's bad. She's not great.
I think she's got like 18 Oscars.
Knobs?
No, wins.
Oh.
No way.
No, that's what I'm
She's
thinking.
got 18 Nerdsy awards.
Yeah, Nerds.
That's more important. Yeah, no, I liked it. I can't remember she's alive in the comics right now or not, but you know, it's just another character, and it's kind of different because if you look at characters like Superman, Batman, Batman's lost his parents, and so Superman's lost his dad, so it's kind of like something different for these heroes for DC. So yeah, no, I dig it.
Big mom issues in the comic book world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
especially
mom issues.
yeah.
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 Yeah, because comic book, rule number one, right? If you haven't seen them killed on the panel, or even then, they can still come back.
Yeah.
Or the movies, they're still out there. But
Right.
I just kind of forgot.
Yeah, me
After
too.
a while, I just
Yeah.
kind of forgot. And then when she showed up, it's like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool, bring her back, because she was so cool at the beginning of this film.
Yeah.
You know what? Her costume looked a little funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like the trench, like that she had killed and like made skin.
Yeah,
out of
it looked
like
really
that's dark
weird.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
What was she eating? She's eating the trench for the last like 30 years.
It was like in the middle of the earth, man.
Yeah.
Rock was down there for a bit in that movie. It's all good.
Yeah, it's always dinosaurs in the middle of the earth.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna like have a crossover with Jurassic Park now?
Feels like a really hot and highly pressurized place. But that's just me. I don't know. So she essentially explains she gives us that exposition that we need as to what Arthur needs to do to get the blah, blah, blah trident.
Yeah.
And it's going facing the Karathan, I think they say. I want to keep saying Kraken, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same basic idea, I think. He needs to prove that he's worthy. And I think a long way goes towards that is that he can actually talk to it.
Right.
And so this whole scene, it to me, it was just fine, right?
Yeah.
We spent quite a bit of time chasing this trident. He gets there, he talks to this big thing, proves that he's worthy, emerges in the Aquaman costume.
Yeah.
You guys cool with this? Like, it seems like it's a means to an end, right? Let's just get there, do it, and then let's go have a final battle.
Get that costume on.
Yeah.
Really.
Voiced by Julie Andrews, the original Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins,
Was
y'all.
that who? Is that who she was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, she didn't want to be in Mary Poppins Returns. She preferred to be in Aquaman. That's all you need to know about which movie to see this holiday season.
Yeah, so, like, to me, let's talk about this costume before we get into this final battle here.
Ooh, man, that costume. Really?
Oh, man.
But I'm the guy that loved the leather on Momoa. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You just
what
have-
the hell do I know?
Did you also love the leather in the X-Men films? Is that like
No.
when they change, like, go back to the black leather, Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, not for me. I don't know. I just something about it just doesn't fit the character that Momoa portrays through the entire
I
film.
get that.
That's what takes me out. Him walking out in this, and I get it. It's comic accurate. Cool. Go with it. But it just feels like Momoa stuck in a gold suit. Doesn't really fit. Like, I like his Justice League outfit. as
Oh,
That
well.
was
okay.
cool too. I like that one too.
I like the more darker colors on Aquaman.
Right.
This bright gold thing, it just didn't work for me. Like, it's fine. It doesn't detract from the movie for me. I'm happy that like big Aquaman fans got that revelation, got this suit. I'm cool with that. I can be there. Didn't love it though.
Yeah, for me, I love this costume, especially because I think going in a little bit, we've seen some of like those statues, like those sideshow statues that are coming out, and I was like, whoa, that looks really cool. But then to actually see it on Momoa, and thinking of him standing alongside the rest of the Justice League, I'm just like, whoa, because that was missing from Justice League. We didn't have Momoa in the orange and green.
Yeah.
And,
even Flash too.
Yeah. And Momoa just rocked it because he has that swagger where he can wear the leather, he can wear this, and you're just like, wear a life jacket, and you're like, that's cool. It's soccer man, right? So for me, I loved it. And then he had that trident, just to solidify the outfit.
Yeah.
Boom. I was happy, man.
I'm with you, man. I loved it. Like, it looks like the comic accurate suit, and it's one of the harder ones to pull off.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's 100 ways where this thing could have gone wrong, and it kind of looks like fish scales in a way, but like when you go out, it doesn't. And the green with the gloves look really cool, and the trident is so gold and shiny. And I don't know. I think he gains it, and then he gains more powers when he has the costume. So when you're watching Justice League and you see him get taken out by Superman, like, so quickly, I don't think he'll be taken out by Superman so quickly in this costume. He's got more powers, so
Yeah, we will see hopefully someday those two in a film together again.
well, we definitely see one on film. We don't know. It's crazy. We live in a world where we're more 100% confident we're getting an Aquaman sequel, and we're not so sure we're getting another Superman film
Or a Batman.
or a
Yeah,
Batman
Batman.
film.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, really real world. Before Aquaman does get to his sequel, he's got to defeat his evil brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as we go through this Orem, the subplot kind of comes to a head where he kills one of the other guys, gets the allegiance of the kid, of the fish, or whatever,
Right.
and declares himself Ocean Master. He puts the cap on, the head or helmet or whatever, and they go to battle. Remind me again who they go to battle with.
The Brine King?
Oh, the Brine King.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sorry.
Voiced by, I think it's Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really?
John Rhys Davies.
So they go head-to-head here in a massive CGI battle. To me, it was it was the end of this big thing. I'd have to say that I enjoyed a lot of the other battles, And this is a common thing that we've thrown at comic book movies, that the battles in the middle seem to be better than the final punch-up. This was just a lot. And some parts were great. Other parts were, yeah, sure, the Kraken comes back up. You see the trench people. Aquaman does his thing. He has a moment there with Mara where they make out in the middle of this giant battle.
It's what you do in DC. Look at Superman and Lois Lane.
True.
Or
True.
Rose and Finn.
Yeah.
This happens.
True. So the king emerges from all this. What did you guys think of this last battle here?
Oh, I loved it. This was my favorite battle of the whole movie.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I think it's up there. Like when you
Better
talk
than Sicily.
I think so, yeah. When you talk about like great final battles in comic book films of recent times, you got Man of Steel, Battle of Metropolis, and you got Infinity War, the Wakanda scene. To me, this fits right in there with them. Like, this is just such an amazing scene. Tim shaking his head. He's not so sure about that.
I'm not sure this goes with...
He's just coming off of Civil War, man.
Yeah.
He's like, no way.
Oh, man. Like,
I just rewatched Civil War. I'm not sure this I can honestly say this is not compared to the Wakanda battle. But, sure, like, it's each their own.
yeah. No, I love this. It's like underwater. You got like laser sharks, and then you got Aquaman emerging with the whatever thing it is, the Leviathan.
He has the Man of Steel shot too, right?
Right,
when
when
he's
he's flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. He's
That's
like
great.
coming up. Oh, look, just like Man of Steel.
So good. Yeah.
Him and Mira share a kiss. It's like very Shape of Water. That film won an Oscar. Okay, and
There's
this
a
film
lot.
hasn't
There's
even...
a lot going on for them to be like, wait a minute. You know what we should do here?
Call Gilmore del Toro right now and get him to
Well,
shoot this.
You never know who's gonna survive battle. So you're in the throes of war. This could be your last chance you ever see, Mara, or last time she ever sees Arthur Curry. Man, just go for the kiss. Like it's nice. And they show like the revolving scene and all the different bright colors, everything. Man,
That's
just
people
dug it.
kicking the shit out of each other all around them, though.
You know what, man? Like he can't save
I'm just
everybody. He
playing.
can't save everybody. I mean,
It was a goofy scene, though.
if Black Panther had taken the time to kiss his love interest in the film, I would have been okay with that too. Or if I'm trying to think of some other love interests, if in that Wakanda scene, but I can't think of too many. If
There's
Natasha and Vision, if they kind of got jiggy with it during the battle, I would have been okay with that too.
That would have been weird.
Yeah.
Real weird.
For
What do
sure.
you think
I
of this
would've
end battle?
watched
It was fine. It was okay for me. It wasn't a highlight by any means. It wasn't anything to blow me out of the water. It was a better third act for sure, I would say, than or better third act battle than Wonder Woman taking on
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ares.
Ares.
Yeah.
The CGI obviously looked a lot better, but and even the kissing scene, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Why would you do
It's
that?
an eye roll, right?
It was an eye roll.
You're in
Yeah.
love, man. Like if you were going out to battle
Yeah.
and you have your wife there by your side,
Yeah.
you're like, I gotta save the kingdom. You wouldn't kiss her? This could be the last chance you ever see her.
Then I'd go for it.
Right,
I just
right.
stop what I'm doing and just,
You're Aquaman. You're not gonna get hit by random, errant fire. You're the main star of the movie. No like Joe Blow henchman's gonna take you out.
Yeah.
Just go for the kiss.
Yeah.
And she I think initiated the kiss. So you're gonna turn her down and say no thank you. He's gonna smooch.
Well, why wouldn't you snuggle up to the king? Now,
I'd
at the end of this
snuggle up.
battle, the king is essentially crowned. Like, he is given that nod by everyone. Everyone cheers as they pop up and that. Do you think crowning him is too much at the start? Like, in his first film, like, is that again suffering from we need to get everything into here? Like, I don't want it to sound like a broken record, but save it for later.
I think it works because now in the sequel he has to deal with that.
True,
I'm the
that
king
does.
of Atlantis.
Yeah,
and
I can buy into that.
maybe they show his scene with him going to talk to like the president, or he has to be like diplomatic now. So it's like a scene where he's like at a United Nations and he's got to like talk, and they're like, this guy is like the leader of Atlantis. Like you could have like scenes
Yeah, I
like
can
that.
see. I agree. I can see that.
No, I like that. I like
the
that.
trials and
if
tribulations.
Luke and Han and everyone got a trophy at the end of episode 4, you got to give these guys you got to give them a crown
right
right away.
Crown
Get that man a crown.
Yeah.
Somebody get this man. I love it. And we also get Thomas and his bride, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reuniting there. Beautiful end.
Reunited and it feels so good.
That almost feels like it should have been stuck in the film.
That would have been
Probably
amazing.
Yeah,
would've
probably
worked.
worked a lot better. Even sung by Sunjay would have been a lot better.
I don't know the next line. Tim, help me out.
Don't know.
Troy, help me out.
Got nothing.
reunited.
Just keep
like
repeating
the
that.
way it should.
90% of songs I know the chorus. All right, so that about caps off the film for us. There was a lot in there, and I think we unpacked the majority of it here,
Yeah.
with the exception of the mid-credit scene. Now, we kind of made reference to this. We've got, Black Manta with this Dr. Stephen Shin.
Yeah.
To me, when I saw the boat, I was like, oh my god, Lex Luthor is going to pick
Yeah.
up
That
Black
would have been
Manta.
Yeah.
super cool. Yeah.
I
Yes.
chuckled to myself because I thought it was going to be Deathstroke or one of them.
Right.
So-
Because it
cool.
was weird. There, like the first thing you see is a boat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I know where they're going with this, right?
Yes.
They're assembling whatever the
Legion
Legion
of
of
Doom
Doom.
Patrol. Or sorry, Doom
That's
Patrol, something
coming.
else.
Yeah. That would have been cool. But I think if they were more confident in the universe, that's what it would have been.
You're right.
Yeah,
You know, if they were like,
Right.
yeah, we're definitely
you
doing this
did
for
say that
Disney
right
too.
after because I was like, whoa, this, and you're like, no confidence.
Yeah.
This is why they
I
do
think
that.
now, like, at the end of Flash, they do Flash, they'll have, like, Gorilla Grodd join, and then, like, Black Manta will be there, and he's like, I was rescued by Lex Luthor as well, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, as soon as I killed that guy, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Before we cap this off, let's give our recommendations. I'm gonna throw it to you first, Troy.
Cool.
What are your thoughts and what are your recommendations on Aquaman?
Yeah, well, finally giving it a year to digest.
Yes.
The film's not horrible. It's not a bad.
They should put that on the Blu-ray. Film's not horrible.
The film's
Troy
not
the
horrible.
boy.
No, I actually had a lot of fun with this film, and like I mentioned, it's a roller coaster ride. I think the positives outweigh the negatives. I would have to say there were some things that really took me out of this film, and the score is fantastic. But like Tim mentioned, like the music itself is not so good. But
Except
the
for that
score,
Cigarro song.
yes, exactly at the beginning there, which is great. Performances aren't bad, but like I mentioned before, this whole spoiler review, I felt like Jason Momoa's performance was maybe one of the least enjoyable, but it still like served the overall purpose of the story. Costume design was great, apart from those putties. Visual effects is blowing. It's one of the best out there. It's a crime that it's not even being considered for an Oscar, which is just outrageous right now at this point.
I hear you.
Overall, though, I think James Wan did a great job. I would like to see, like, I hope they do some major improvements, though, going forward, like, in the story aspect or the dialogue, the writing aspect. I really hope they can do a little bit more, step their game up on that point. But Jason Momoa, man, he's here to stay. I actually really think he's saved this universe of the DCEU, for sure. I mean, how much is it now? 700?
750.
750, but by the end of the week it'll be 900.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
crazy.
gonna blow past.
That's
$1 billion.
crazy. No, I think definitely go out there and check out this film, and you'll have a blast for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know my thoughts. It's a DC film, so of course I'm gonna love it. Well, it's a DC film not named Catwoman, so of course I'm gonna love it. Throwing shade at Catwoman there. No, I loved it. What can I say? It's one of the most like enjoyable films of the year. It's just a total popcorn flick. It's a great action film. It's a great throwback adventure. It kind of has everything in it for everyone. The performances were great. I'm excited to see more of Jason Momoa, Amber Heard. I'm excited to see more of Patrick Wilson, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, who plays Black Manta. I'm excited to see more of him. I'm just excited to see more of this universe. They've kind of crafted this like out there universe. You know, the DC films have been to. I had a brain fire. They've been to Themyscira, they've been to Gotham, they've been to Metropolis, and now they've been to Atlantis.
And Krypton.
And Krypton, that's right. Like the worlds of DC is pretty crazy, and I think this has done probably one of the best jobs of crafting this entire universe in one film. You could have a whole universe of films set within Atlantis. Like you could have like different side character spin-offs and everything. So I'm super pumped. Like see this film, you'll have a great time. You're gonna come out smiling. You're gonna love it as much as I do. Probably not, but I don't know. I think it's a great film. I think it's a great film.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Like it's
So not much more you can say.
Yeah,
You go
I
back
mean-
to the previous hour and a half. And listen to all that. You know,
and I think like one of the cool things is going down like doing like movie marathons. I think this is gonna play really well when you go if you ever go see the DC films in like chronological order. I think this is gonna pair really well like after Justice League, and then you throw this on right away. You'll be like, yeah, you'll see like this is a much better crafted film than Justice League. Not to throw shade at Justice League because I actually like had fun at that film and I don't like hate it as much as some people. But this is like a much better crafted film, and I think it stands up the top of not just the DCEU but like DC films overall. I would put
Okay.
this in the top like 5 DC films ever done.
Interesting.
yeah. There's not much more I can say to that, guys. Like I'll echo some of the same sentiments that I came out. I had fun. I was pleasantly surprised with the Amber Heard, and the visuals were great. Jason Momoa, yeah, to me, I really loved his performance here. That really brought it for me. You've heard my criticisms. I'm not going to go into any more depth there. But at the end of the day, yeah, definitely go out and check this film. It's worth a watch. And I think the biggest thing here that we can say is that, as cliched as it is maybe, yeah, sure, Jason Momoa, him and Wonder Woman, him and Gal Gadot just saved this universe.
Yeah.
They have a solid foundation to leap off of now. Now it's about execution, getting into that, like, quote unquote phase 2 and doing big things with these characters moving forward. Aquaman is now and will be a household name going forward. So people have that character recognition. They need to run with that.
You know, you mentioned like save the universe. I think like the thing that it really saved was public opinion and general audiences. You know, I think like the DC fans, you know, they're kind of like, and them as well, because like they're kind of worried, like, okay, Snyder's kind of, you know, he's not involved anymore. Which direction are they gonna go? Other fans are like, I didn't like the previous films. Am I gonna like this? So yeah, like I know it's kind of cliche as we say, and I did put it in like the DC review bingo, but you know, you can stamp a square for us because I think it did. It saved it and marks all the boxes. Yeah, you know, critically, audience wise, and box office, and as well, all the different fans. Yeah, it united the seven fandoms. Your DC fans, your Marvel fans, your X-Men fans, your Lord of the Ring fans, your Star Wars fans, your Star Trek fans.
Godzilla fans?
And your Godzilla fans. Sure, there's the 7. It united the 7.
And with that being said, I think it's about time we wrap things up here. It's been a long review. We're an hour and 50 or so minutes into this.
Wow.
For a 2.5 hour film. So
yeah, we'll just stay for another like half an hour and just like watch the film again.
After credit scene?
Yeah, after credit scene. All right, guys, that was an absolute blast discussing that. Taking a moment and pausing back into 2018, discussing our last film review for 2018 into early 2019 here. Our next 2 weeks are going to be a lot of fun, actually. We've got our 2018. We're going to spend one more episode back in 2018 where we're looking at our year in review. Coming a little bit later just because of the holiday seasons and all that. Doesn't matter. We're going to be talking about our top 10 films from the year, wrapping up potentially the box office draft, declaring a winner in there. And then we're going to be next week, the following week after that, we're going to be talking about 2019's most anticipated. So we're going to be discussing everything for our most anticipated films. The 2019 box office fantasy draft will take place on that episode as well. We're going to be looking at collecting and comics in 2019 and just breaking down everything that we are looking forward to. So it's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of weeks, looking back and then again looking forward. Sunjay's got something big coming up here at the end of the month. So hopefully we can get everything in.
Oh, yeah, that's when I give birth.
Yes, when you give birth. You're looking great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You know, I put on the Christmas 15.
Oh, yeah. I hear ya. So, guys, get out there and see Aquaman. It is a ton of fun. You know, it's a full recommend from us here. And if you guys would like to tell us what you thought of it, you can always email us at thenerdroom@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Twitter. We're always there hanging out. Handles at the end of the episode. The Twitter gang is always rocking and rolling, talking Aquaman, whatever. Get your thoughts out there. And for everything that we do, everything else, you can find us at thenerdroom.net as well as StarWarsCommonwealth.com. We'd like to thank Mr. Rob Wade for Emotionally 14 endorsing this podcast. Go check out everything that he does, including his Crazy Train podcast over at emotionally14.com. And with that being said, we're going to take a dive. One more pun that makes no sense. But for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Sunjay.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room.
This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyrips Podcast, and San Diego Sabres. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.
All right, so if you're listening to us, like this isn't Marvel, like we don't have any mid-credit scene, but this is like our mid-credit scene. So we're gonna do a quick breakdown of our favorite costumes of the Justice League heroes. So we got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. So you got to rank them from least favorite to most favorite, and we'll use this Aquaman costume whichever Batman costume, whichever Wonder Woman costume you want, whichever Superman costume you want. I mean, this is just
Okay.
purely not on character, but just.
Okay, I'm
on
gonna do
costume.
quick. We're doing this. This is gonna be 30 seconds. So I'm gonna go least to most.
Yeah.
Cyborg least.
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
Aquaman.
Okay.
I don't know who I'm missing here.
Then Trinity.
Wonder Woman. Superman. Batman.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Shoot, mine's pretty similar. Flash, you're at the bottom. Cyborg. Shoot, this is tough. Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Batman, BVS.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go Flash last, Cyborg. Then I'm gonna go. Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna go Aquaman, even though I really like the costume. Then I'm gonna go Superman's. Then I'm gonna go Batman's. Then I'm gonna go Wonder Woman's number one.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Boom.
We are. Oh.